Film has been through many phases. The golden era of Hollywood, French New Wave, Chris Pratt, but that's nothing compared to what some of the other art forms have experienced. Paintings began on cave walls in the dirt before maturing into Renaissance-era hyperrealism. The written word started as a way to codify oral traditions and is now just fucking Twitter, I guess. Compared to those, film is in its infancy, having only been around for a couple hundred years, and yet it's still reinventing itself and touching our lives every day. So I think we can all agree that film as a medium will persist for years, and yet I, as an extra large, will be happy to discuss it here on our show Criterion Castaways, where we sail the seas of cinema until we wash up on random shores.
What does it say on my royal crest, Admiral?
I hate pirates.
I'm Jacob Katz.
And I'm Nick Fiore.
And we are not alone today. With us is Jaylen Early, photographer, cinephile, and all-around cool person. Jaylen, how are you today?
Hey,
Hello, I am stoked to be here.
So how would you describe your relationship with movies in general and then also the Criterion Collection?
I guess as far as my relationship with movies, it's been a form of escapism for me for a long time and also just plain fun. I work part-time at an art house theater here in Springfield, Mo. And there is where I really fell in love with film. Like, I've always been interested in, like, watching movies, but I wouldn't say that I, like, really got into movies until I started working there and watching the films that we showed every week there. Because I was studying photography at MSU at the time, and it was the first time that I saw movies that really were truly, like, artistic and met the cornerstone of me, like, enjoying physically going out and going to the movie theaters, but also seeing something that is like artistic and intriguing. I was like, I didn't know movies could be like this. And from there, I fell in love. And I also am I've always been a physical media person with like music and stuff. And once I kind of fell into the deep end of films, I started collecting tapes and getting more into that and just finding a little chosen family like through collecting and working at the Moxie.
That's awesome. And
That's
so
cool. Yeah.
Our randomizer picked out for us today La Vie de Bohème from 1992, I believe. Am I right about
Yes,
that?
it is.
Hey, look at that. But Jaylen, you chose some other movies for us to talk about today. What did you bring on for us to watch?
I chose the trilogy, actually, of Gregg Araki's Teen Apocalypse, and it is totally fucked up, The Doom Generation, and Nowhere.
And what about these movies made you want to bring them on here?
Well, with it being Pride Month, I was like, I obviously want to do something that is queer. And I really love like oddball, like kind of out there movies. Like at the Moxie, I host a Mondo series where I play like cult films, and I like the freak shit. So I was like, I have to pick something weird and fun. And Gregg Araki, I think, is one of the greatest like queer directors like of our time, if not like ever. So it was a pretty quick decision for me. Out of the trilogy, Nowhere is probably like my favorite. So I was like,
yeah.
At least this one. And then Jacob was like, maybe we should just do all three. And I was like, yeah.
Well, because I said that because like I had never seen a Gregg Araki movie.
Yeah.
They go together amazingly, but I had never seen a Gregg
Yeah.
Araki movie. I know he has a new one coming out this year, and I'm excited for that just because I've heard good things. But when you said
it's
that,
Charlie XCX in it.
does it really?
Oh,
She's
shit.
Yeah,
just
That's
popping
awesome.
off
and
in
Cooper
movies.
Hoffman.
Damn.
Yeah,
okay.
and Cooper Hoffman.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
This was such a great introduction to him. These movies were so much fun. Nick, what'd you think about them?
Oh my God. Firstly, just there's something about, this is mostly especially for Totally Fucked Up, but this kind of goes for also Nowhere, the video aspect of these films. But I don't know, even just in that, it's even in the Doom Generation as well, the interstitials of just this specific era of video, which also then plays, I feel like, so much into like the collage style of these films, but also just all of the characters coming at it from the most expressive angle in the best way. I just found myself kind of falling in love with each of them, but for very different reasons. Like they just have very distinct vibes and visuals and like character that I feel like is really not one of the last films I had chosen was Chasing Amy for God.
Jesus.
What a
my
visually
God.
non-distinct film for what we were doing.
What a different relationship to LGBT.
to the
Kevin Smith
I'm so
discovering bisexuality and gay people existing in the world. It's crazy how different those things could be.
So I really appreciate it. I mean, I all to say that they're much more vibrant than I would say Chasing is by a mile. I'm super excited about them.
Vibrant, but also like the sense of humor is so different from
Yes.
that movie. I know it's difference in directors for sure. Just the humor, the style of it was so different because in Totally Fucked Up, it's very much, I don't know exactly how you would describe it other than kind of every character is just kind of blasé about what's going on. They're very passive in that movie and they get more active as the trilogy goes on. But it takes that 90s, I guess, disdain for the world around you and just stacks so many layers of humor on top of that, where some of it is making fun of, or I assumed making fun of the culture of the time. And some of it was just like, this is the craziest thing that you're going to see for exactly half a second. And then we're just moving on.
Yeah.
It really is like a 90s trilogy. Like,
It really is,
like, I mean, in so many ways. It just felt like, let's take all these different stereotypes and these groups that everyone would have known in the 90s or will, I guess, would have been in the media, and let's do something entirely different with them. I mean, these stories are intertwined in nowhere, but they like, it's like the sequence of events is not set up in the way that a Clueless was.
Yeah.
You could say that.
Right.
But
So we should start with Totally Fucked Up as the beginning of that trilogy. But Jaylen, will you intro that movie for us a little bit?
Yeah, it's I guess about it's like 6 queer teenagers who have found family within each other, and it really faces head on like homophobia and alienation. It's definitely a little bit more on the nose about just like being a queer person during that time. But yeah, it's very, like you said earlier, collage-y, very DIY, very punk, which is one thing that I really love about this series. It has this DIY punk mentality that I really love. And yeah, it's very, very nihilist, but also very self-aware. And again, really, really fun, even though it kind of really goes into navigating like violence and existential dread.
Yeah. And I do think this was like the least outwardly funny of the trilogy. It definitely has
For sure.
its funny moments in it, but it wasn't like, this is a pretty serious movie when it comes down to it. And the humor is mostly just the characters having their group dynamic, but then it's also the editing. It has a lot of personality, which you can't say about a lot of movies that you see. Like there's two people are talking about having gay sex and someone says, how can anyone put their dick where shit comes out? Then it's a hard cut to explicit gay porn.
Yes.
Which is that's just a funny edit. Like that is good.
Yeah.
It really is.
And the movie is full
So
of
many
stuff
of these,
like that.
I also just absolutely loved. I would love to know how the video shots are filmed. Like if it seems like they're filmed secondarily. Firstly, the aesthetic of that I just absolutely loved, but also just how it does this interesting thing with the titles themselves. Like I really love the flow of this film.
Yeah,
In a
it's
big bad way.
and it's structured in 15 little vignettes that some of them have a narrative, some of them kind of don't. I think some of them are just kind of exploring a feeling, whereas some are pushing the plot along. We should probably, the characters in this movie, the main 6 are, what are their names? Andy, Tommy, Michelle, Patricia, Steven, and Derek. Michelle and Patricia are a couple. Steven and Derek are a couple. Andy and Tommy, I think, are just kind of there, unless I'm misremembering.
Well, and Tommy's more of, I guess, he's like kind of a fuckboy. That changes over the course of the film. But then Andy is kind of, I would say, a loner at first. He's kind of finding himself in the group, but then does find kind of a sweeter relationship that doesn't end the best.
Most of the movie is just them kind of going to different places and talking up until near the end. That makes it sound much less exciting to watch than it actually is, because there's so much personality in every single part of it.
Yeah.
Not just the characters and the editing, but also the places that they're in, because they are, like you said earlier, Nick, just kind of surreal and weird.
Yeah, Well, Jaylen, I did want to ask, like, was this the first one of the trilogy that you had watched, or was this one that you came to later? What was your relationship with this
yeah,
one?
I actually watched Nowhere first because I had like seen clips of it online and had just like been on like my watch list for a while. Because I didn't realize it was like a trilogy. So yeah, I watched Nowhere first and I was like, so this is my new personality and my favorite movie.
It's so good.
I need to watch the rest of them immediately. Like I did buy the Criterion copy of it like almost immediately after that because I was like, I need this right now. But yeah, Totally Fucked Up is so like I watched that one right after Nowhere, and you can definitely see like the progression of his filmmaking. Like it definitely becomes a lot more polished over the course of 3 movies, but there's just something about Totally Fucked Up that is just so raw and interesting, and it's like also kind of like a spin off of typical like teenage movies. Like it's like a John Hughes flick, but like emo and gay.
It does feel it's gay punk Breakfast Club completely. And this wasn't his first movie, I don't think, because in the beginning doesn't say another slur movie. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. It says another homo movie by Gregg Araki at the beginning, but it says another one. So only took 8 episodes to cancel the white guy on the internet. But it I really like that for as much as the characters were kind of just taking in the world and they were talking about the things that bother them about the world, about what they do with their lives, none of it was them complaining about homosexuality necessarily. They were talking about relationships. They were talking about love and fidelity, but they weren't talking about being gay, which I think would set it apart from something like, not to keep bringing it back there, but Chasing Amy, where it was someone who didn't fully understand that culture versus Gregg Araki, even though he was like 40, I think, when he made this movie, which might explain why some of the 90s dialogue is so super 90s.
That's why I say that I think that he is one of the greatest filmmakers of our time, because like it's movies that have queer characters, but the plot is not about them being gay at all. They just like happen to be gay. Even with like new queer movies that are coming out, I see that so much and I'm so tired of it. It's like a period piece where they can't be together, a love story, a love story, they're gay, and like one of them gets like hate crimed, or you know, their parents don't let them be together or whatever. And it's like, I'm over it. Right. So watching these films, I was like, this is so refreshing. Just the way that, you know, queerness is shown in it is so diverse and interesting, but also the story is compelling and it's not inherently just about them being gay. The problems and the conflicts have to do with other things, just like navigating relationships, being a teenager, whatever.
Right.
Experimenting with drugs. And it's not just like, oh, we're gay and they can't find out. Oh no. Oh no.
And there is even a part in this movie where Tommy gets kicked out of his house because his parents are homophobic. And it's not like the whole emotional crux of the movie. It's a development in his character. For sure, it's not treated like nothing. But that's not his entire being, is that he gets kicked out of the house for being gay. It's almost kind of just moved past after a few minutes.
Out of the 3, I think this first one is like the most like on the nose when it comes to that. But as the trilogy moves on, you can see where he starts to move away from that, you know?
I was having such a hard time like really pinning down the vibe of this. It almost felt a little bit like Napoleon Dynamite in that it's very particular about how things go, and like none of the characters are being super emotive, but they're all saying things that feel like they should be emotional, or just the cadence of the humor is very 1-2. You know, there's a part where Andy and Tommy are laying on the grass, and Andy goes, "Tommy, can I ask you a personal question?" He just replies, 9 7/8 inches.
It also reminds me of like Gummo, not necessarily like the content,
Kids,
but I think just Harmony Korine's like
Harmony Korine,
because there's that, I don't know if you've seen that interview of him where he's like, I hate plots. And he's like real life isn't a plot like where there's like, you know, a distinct beginning, middle, and end. It's just like a series of conversations and instances and moments that are like fleeting and may not always tie together. And I really resonate with that. And I love films that have that kind of approach. And I feel like these three films definitely do that, especially that first one.
Because there are so many plot lines in this that feel like they could be or have been full stories in other movies. Like Michelle and Patricia are getting quote unquote donations from all of the rest of them so that they can have a baby. And like that would be, I'm sure that that's a movie somewhere that won a bunch of awards from straight people who watched it, that is a plot line somewhere. But it's, again, just kind of, it's like a C story almost to Derek and Steven's relationship, to Andy and Ian's relationship. Ian is a guy that Andy meets fairly early on in the movie, I think. And then just Steven making his movie. If you hear a clap, by the way, there's a fly in this fucking room and I'm gonna get him.
I think one thing that was really stuck out to me is I kept thinking this film reminded me so much of I really like narrative games, or games that like kind of do things a little bit out of order. I don't know if either of you've played or heard of like Immortality or Her Story. Both of the films or both the games kind of take this approach of being non-linear, but often using like filmed appearances of actors that you construct the story kind of separately, if that makes sense. And much of this, I don't know, I like, there's a sort of, I don't want to say detective aspect to watching this film, but like I found myself going to the beginning of the film to kind of like recollect my thoughts about how I feel about all these characters, because they really drops you into the middle of them at the beginning. Like we're just getting these interstitial or these brief conversations about how each other's lives are going, and it meant a lot for those little moments, or who Steven was even deciding to shoot at particular times was super interesting. And I loved the video being this like core piece to kind of help us get insight. I really appreciated the way that it built the story up slowly, or you can take as much or as little as you wanted from it too. You find it in the little details and not necessarily in these big character moments.
Well, and to that point, the characters all having their little talking head segments does so much for them as people, because when they're in these group scenarios, it really does feel like they're just kind of trading quips back and forth. I would say Michelle and Patricia have some of the most normal sounding conversation, because they're just kind of they're usually checking in with how people's feelings are in the rest of the group, especially after Steven and Derek break up or their relationship is at a rough point. Michelle goes with one of them, Patricia goes with the other, and they're the ones who you're hearing saying like, why don't you go talk to him? Why don't you do this? But then every character gets their own moments in these talking head segments. And I think Steven even has probably the most emotional part of the movie when he's filming his apology video to Derek after cheating on him. And the rest of them are just like, by that point in the movie, I think Tommy is like starting to push Steven away. He doesn't want to be interviewed. Andy is going through his own stuff, so it does kind of pull back on checking in with him. I really like just that it made sure to include those moments in a relatively short movie. It's less than 80 minutes long, but it still checks in with these characters as much as it possibly can to get their emotions, while also flipping back to them as a group and getting those just slivers of time and seeing how they act when they're out in the world. Anytime there's that amount of silence after someone says something, I always get really nervous that my point made no fucking sense.
No. You said something good. I was thinking
and you are wrong.
I was doing a thought on it.
That's a good.
Yeah, and Jacob is incorrect.
And Jacob's incorrect because this is not a movie for him.
Canceled
and that's
again.
Okay. Canceled twice.
I mean, one thing I also felt while watching this is like every friend group I've been in, there was just a lot of little events that they would put together that like often were not really of that much consequence while they're playing a heartthrob like little board game, or even the insemination party. I'm like, they're doing these fun little weird things, but then also they're often just like kind of bored talking to each other about like whatever kind of comes to mind. It is a lot of the quipping, but it felt very real. Real life is this. Like this is how relationships build. Is
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's lived in.
Same with the production design too.
Oh
like
yeah. Which is, we said the same thing about Eraser. I don't know if I could tell you a location from this movie other than like someone's room, the way up to this person's apartment. They're very nondescript kind of liminal areas to add, which I guess makes it feel like an apocalypse because there's not very many like signposts in what you're seeing. Like it's set in LA because they say it's set in LA, but this could be anywhere.
Yes.
There isn't a lot of connective tissue between the places, and it makes it feel a little bit dreamlike and a little bit wobbly with the actual setting in a way that I really enjoyed, because it means that you could transplant it anywhere and still have it have the same meaning.
No, that's a really good point. And I mean, they mention often, even when the LA is mentioned, like it's much more in the fact that it's very alienating. I think they they continually mention that. Like this is the feeling that they are just at odds with the city, or that they are not finding themselves. Or I think that Ian, who Andy dates for a little while, mentions how he's like, I've been here for 2 years and I feel like I've not met a soul. It's also like a lot of, which I liked, but it felt very Lynchian in that way, where just people will be walking through the scene, or there'll be something happening in the background that is not talked about.
Like multiple times when someone in a dog leash walks by in the foreground, you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
But those are those moments that just, I don't know, it's like sparks of color that I just appreciate. Even like the signs that are often in the rooms. Like I think one of the last scenes with Andy, like he has a scene where it's like we're going to kill AIDS and then like kill God, or like it's something wild. I like kept reading it while it's like
Christ will kill AIDS and stop Russia or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Which is, it's so perfect. This one being so modern but still feeling very aged is, I think, important because it reminds you just how close a lot of this intense homophobia was to where we are now. This movie is like 33-ish years old, I think.
Wow.
And so like this is how things were in the early 90s, and it's how things still are now in some parts of the country.
It's very different, but it's also very similar, just like with recent administration, how there's
oh boy.
Like, so I just like as a queer person, I watch this back and I'm like, damn, like, are we regressing as a society? Like, why am I feeling the same dread that they are?
Right.
Like, it's like comforting, like in a way, like watching it, but also is like, I share that feeling of nihilism and sadness.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, oh man, we are living in an apocalypse.
A teenage apocalypse.
A teenage apocalypse.
A teenage apocalypse. I mean, I kept thinking every time they mentioned Reagan or like the administration at the time, how they basically didn't handle AIDS, like, and how they're describing how this is a Holocaust in real time.
Yeah,
it's like same issues, but like in different fonts happening.
Exactly,
completely.
No, absolutely the case. There are like quite a few interstitials like that. I might be getting mixed up, but they have like, I think it's like a Jerry Falwell clip or something. It's like some religious figure or religious.
I think it's in this one. Yeah,
would have televangelist. Yeah, like describing how AIDS is what God, I don't know, brought to. I don't. Clearly, the religious figures at this time were very openly seeing AIDS as this like epidemic that was from on top. To be faced with that, especially as a 19-year-old, when you're finding love and you're finding your friends, and totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
That would be a topic that would be very like powerful in the time, because I think Freddie Mercury had only died. Not that Freddie Mercury is like the be all end all of gay representation, but like he had only died a couple years prior. The AIDS epidemic was a thing long before this, and for it to still have that staying power, and then just to see it from a kid's perspective is it's scary. Yeah. Like imagine just having, for a lot of people it's probably not imagining it's what's happening, but just having a direct threat to your lifestyle being something that is that scary, it's horrifying.
Yeah. And just the amount of death and grief queer people face during that time is like unfathomable. Like just like watching back interviews from that time, or even like documentaries like Paris is Burning, hearing like anecdotes of how frequently like they were going to funerals. It makes me sick to my stomach. So I am thankful that things have gotten better in that sense. But there's a newfound fear and anxiety of, are things gonna go, or things gonna swing back in that direction because of the current administration and their way of trying to like target queer and trans people and what kind of threats they pose to the community.
I love that with that fear and with that anxiety, there is still, I think, the message of like the friends that these people have made are what is pulling them through it, and that is the main focus for. Family
is so important for anyone who is ostracized because of queerness or whatever. Just finding that community, whether it's like an art community, just like friends, it doesn't have to be blood, connecting with like-minded people, how vital that is to just being a human and how beautiful that can be. And this movie does that in such a raw way.
I mean, I just absolutely love the relationship later in the film between Tommy and Derek. I think, like, even after Derek has had this just awful thing happen to him, there's just something so sweet about kind of, like, Tommy's in the process of finding a new place to live after he's been kicked out by his parents, and he's, like, trying to tell that to Derek, and Derek is like, you can stay here for as long as you want. After, I mean, he's in this awful state himself, but there's just, like, a sweetness there, and also there's a sweetness that also gets added to Tommy now that he has this kind of newfound appreciation for his friend Derek. Even though they're both going through awful experiences, it's like it's something where they find this closeness between each other that just was really it's not something that often is always aced in these films that kind of tackle.
Yeah, it's like a subtle, but it speaks such volumes. Like,
yes,
portraying that, you know, even though there is this discrimination happening, there is this chance of violence or whatever, it's okay to be yourself, and there are other people like you are here, you exist, there are other people like you, and if people don't accept that, like, fuck them, like, just surround yourself with those people and that chosen family, and that's all that matters.
I love the way that like the movie portrays love too, because you see I feel like in more mainstream or more, I guess, heterosexual movies, like, if you see a gay relationship, it's usually this is a perfect thing, or this is very stereotypical, or this is the messiest thing it could possibly be. And there's still flavor, like, none of these relationships.
It's like gay, but it's like for a straight gaze.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
None of the relationships in this are necessarily perfect, but you get very sweet love. You get having just a difference in sexual preference. You get people who are in a lot of different stages of their relationships, and none of them are vilified other than infidelity, which is, you know, fair. But it's very refreshing to see a movie like this that is this raw and this minimalist in how cinematic it is, be able to portray those things as realistically as it does.
I think a lot about Andy's character. It's like someone who's kind of still finding himself, and also like where they are with their own like sexuality, like what they're comfortable doing. And I found myself a lot in that when I came out, or was like in trying to like investigate those feelings. It's like you have to then go through all these other stages of like, what am I comfortable with, and also like who am I comfortable doing it with. There's something that Andy, like where he finds Ian, and it's like, now I want to actually investigate this. I'm not gonna make fun of it or say like, oh, that's so gross, that he says earlier in the film. He's asking Tommy that who has more experience, what is that experience like, and they still, and there's not really a resolution to it either, which I like. It's not like, oh, his friend sits him down and kind of, I mean, he's still kind of making fun of him, which is so real as well. Like, it's,
and Andy's the one who does kind of not necessarily doubt, but does explore his sexuality a little bit more earlier in the movie, because he says, it's such like a funny line for a teen to say, but earlier he's like, I think I'm bisexual. I've never actually dorked a girl or anything, but they're nice, they're soft. Like, it's such a funny thing that, like, to use the word dorked in that context, but also have him legitimately trying to analyze himself.
Yeah,
it
there's
also
so much like fun language throughout all
so
of these.
silly.
Like, there's so many
is.
quotable moments,
and a lot of them that are.
It's like every time I watch it again, there's something else, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm adding that to my library.
I love, like after Derek gets cheated on, Patricia's like, well, he was a Sagittarius. I'm like, okay, cool. That is, I'm sure, what he wants to hear. And there's so many where it's like, I find it's the conviction of the actors to say these lines that sells it. Because I think that these were teenagers. Like, they're not 30-year-olds who can play 18. I think they were 18-year-olds. And so hearing an 18-year-old say major bonerama is like, like, okay, that is something a kid would probably say.
In Nowhere, one of my like favorite lines is when they're roller skating, and she's like, eat my Bermuda Triangle.
It's so funny.
Like, I think about that all the time.
There's a lot of really creative ways to just say, to name genitals in all three of these movies, and it gives them so much charm.
The California accents too.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
Valley Girl accent using the word fist witches is a perfect thing, and it's why this movie deserves for everyone to watch it.
Oh my God.
But Nick, you were talking about Andy earlier, and he is, I think, the de facto protagonist, because or at least he's the one whose character development kind of ends the movie. That kind of came out of nowhere for me. What happens at the end is that Ian cheats on Andy, or there's, I don't know if they were ever necessarily exclusive, but Ian cheats on Andy. Andy is very broken up by this, and he's trying to hide it. When he's talking with his friends, he's like, poor little fucking heart got broken, BFD. It's like, no, he's hiding so much of it. And then he drinks bleach and alcohol, I think is what it is. He goes on a he basically he kills himself is what happens, and it's
it's like caused, I mean, in part also because he can't reach anybody. No one was doing anything of consequence. Like no one was intentionally leaving him out. It was literally just that they were both in cause with each other, but just having that moment. I mean, that's often what it takes for suicide. I mean, in cases, just that moment of just, I mean, because even Andy has that when he's looking at the concoction he's made. It's like a split second of like, am I going to do this? And then, well, you're done. And then it's, I don't know, and there isn't any resolution with it. It's kind of, I mean, kind of how I want to say all three of the films end, but there is sort of this like distinctly awful thing that happens, or the film gets these
distinctly awful thing that happens to James Duvall specifically.
Yes, exactly. yes, that's so true. Oh my god! Which I also loved him in all three of these films, but it's like
amazing.
There's a quietness in this performance that like is surprising when you get to the other two, because you're like, oh wow, okay,
right.
Like this is
that was
I don't know.
That was my first note in Doom Generation, was that I was like, oh shit, this guy got range.
Yes.
But, like,
oh gosh.
I really appreciate, because when I was watching it, I was like, God, I really don't want like a 12th movie that we've watched for this fucking podcast where it ends with the main character dying. But there's something so vulnerable about that, where it has this whole casting off of care that all these characters do. None of them are showing that much. They're all showing kind of disdain for the world around them, but it does affect them really deeply. And as the movie finishes out, you see Steven give his like apology to Derek on his video. You see the rough edges kind of get pulled back a little bit, and you see the people underneath these kids and their kids, like they're just scared. They're in this world that hates them. They're just trying to find happiness and love, and they mask that with just saying fuck all of this, and it gets to them. Like even if it's just even if it's a small moment that he can't reach his friends, like it's cumulative. All of this stuff adds up, and it has to tip over at some point. And it's a really powerful way to end a movie that really just kind of, it's a fast movie. Like I said, it's less than 80 minutes long. So having that be the end of it, you're just like, what the fuck? There was another movie here that we could have had. Jaylen, had you seen Totally Fucked Up before, or no?
I had seen it before, yeah.
Did anything about the ending kind of change for you on a rewatch, or how did that hit you the first time you saw it?
It's similar to like what you said, just because of how quick the movie is, and how like ragtag the flow is. I was like, I was gagged.
Super gagged,
as the kids say. Watching it again, because again too, with that first watch, I kind of talked about earlier, I just felt tired of watching queer films where it has like a tragic ending. And so I was like slightly disdained by that the first time around, but the second time around, like with knowing it was happening, I still really love the movie, because even though it talks about this, ends in this tragedy, it's still doing it through a queer gaze, and it's approaching it in a way that I feel like is realistic and authentic, and also is very much like a real risk with queer youth, and is still important and needs to be talked about. So yeah, I definitely developed a greater appreciation for the film on this rewatch.
It's a really striking movie. It's one that I had never heard of it before, other than just seeing it while we were going through the pre-production stuff for this, and it's really, really good. It's very set in the 90s, but not in a way that's annoying. It's more just kind of charming, and it has a lot to say without hitting you over the head with it.
I think the other two films are kind of gorgeous in a way that's kind of just so surprising after this one, but this one has a lot of framing things that I just really appreciated. I kept thinking of images like Derek sitting in the corner by himself trying to call his boyfriend Steven. There was a lot of really beautiful frames in this that, like, despite the fact that it was obviously shot in something where they just did not have a whole lot of budget and stuff. I mean, I keep thinking of Chasing Amy only because it's such a
stop thinking of Chasing Amy. Not every movie is Chasing Amy.
It's not, but it just because it's like this speak to this just how flat that movie is visually in comparison. So I use it as a contrast in favor of this film. That's what I'm trying to say. Is there anything else we wanted to wrap up with this film? Any other key scenes or feelings? Or I know we often do a recommendation.
Obviously, I think we would recommend most movies that we watch for this show, but who would you recommend it to? Is I think a better question.
I feel like your grandma. I'm just kidding.
Grandma, we're gonna watch Totally Fucked Up.
Specifically, Jacob's grandma.
My grandmother, who watches Price is Right and Family Feud all day, she'll love this.
Yeah, I just feel like anyone who is like a young adult who feels kind of lost and has experienced feelings of depression, especially during times like these. It's rough out here. I just feel like it captures that feeling so well, and it is comforting to relate to it. And of course, just queer people in general, just like any way we can get to like see and experience representation, especially done so well. It's like all three of these movies are a must watch in my opinion. But 100%. I think anyone who has ever felt like an outcast.
As someone who had never seen a Gregg Araki movie, I thought all three of these were going to be this kind of like handheld, kind of grungy type of movie. And then we move into Doom Generation.
Oh my gosh.
And
oh my god.
Immediately you're like, oh, this guy got way more sauce than I gave him credit for. And he already had a lot of sauce.
Like from the first frame of Doom Generation, I don't know if that's like a good segue or not, but
that's
I just
better
feel like
than
it's
most
like
of the segues we've done on this show.
Speaking of bisexuality,
hey, there you go. Speaking of Gregg Araki making a film, the second film what a great way to transition to what's marketed as a heterosexual movie by Gregg Araki.
Yes,
the Doom Generation.
That was so funny. Yeah,
it works so
it's
well.
It's like his straightest movie.
And even so, it's very not straight at certain points. But this is like full on comedic, cartoony movie in the best way possible. Like I really like.
I love Vicarious Bonnie and Clyde.
There we go.
yes.
Like, Totally Fucked Up. I was like trying to pay a lot of attention to it because I didn't want to miss any of the stories that were going on. In this one, it's like a much more straightforward narrative, but also fuck you if you think that you're going to get logic in this movie, because it's really just a bunch of shit happening.
There's so many good bits. Oh my god.
So many good bits.
Every time they buy something that is 666, like
that's their motel room number 2.
Funny. Yeah.
It genuinely is, honestly.
And like every place they go to, a new person recognizes Amy and thinks that they're her.
She's like
she's their girlfriend that they were so in love with, even though that would be impossible. And she's always just like, fuck this again. But yeah,
it's like Scott Pilgrim in a way.
It is.
Yes. Oh my god, that actually.
Honey, I'm a little bi-furious.
God. But take the worst aging part of that film.
Nick, what happens in the Doom Generation?
The Doom Generation follows Jordan, Amy, and X, or Xavier. These are 3 teens. I can't remember if Xavier is. It seems like they're both Jordan and Amy are like 18, 19.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure Xavier seems like it might just be an age thing of like he's an older actor, but I got a sense of like he's 25 or something. Basically, the film is about kind of their escapades after a quick stop run that goes terribly bad. A clerk is killed, and now they're kind of on a Bonnie and Clyde movement from quick stop to, I don't know, strange bar to strange shop, kind of a road trip movie, and kind of their relationship as a trio, which is distinct. And as you mentioned, like it's a very vicarious film in many ways. But yeah, we have Jordan, who is kind of, I guess, like I want to say like a surfer, like kind of.
He's just a California guy.
He's a California guy. That's the best way of saying it. Yeah, surfer's not the wrong one. But also Amy, who is very cynical, very dark, has kind of a goth aesthetic. She is kind of no nonsense, literally will not take shit from anyone, especially Xavier, until it suits her. And then Xavier, who is an insane person, is like kind of Bender on steroids from John Hughes and other. This film also felt kind of like a John Hughes film in like another way, just another fucked up version of it in the best way. I mean, what did you guys think of this film?
It's so much fun. It's like
Yes.
for every like silly thing that they said in Totally Fucked Up, this one just kind of takes that to the max. It doesn't really concern itself with people talking at all realistically. What's one of the first things that Xavier says? Like, don't get your uterus all tied in a knot. Like, that's a thing anyone has ever said. And I think she calls him jizz breath in response to that.
Yes.
I love the vibe that this movie cultivates in a different way than Totally Fucked Up, because it feels like a comic book, and I think that this is based on a comic strip, maybe. So that would
really?
make a lot of sense. From when they killed the shop clerk, who I don't know how I feel about this joke, but I think his name is Nguyen Cocksuck. Like, come on, but
Oh my god.
like they kill him. His head gets shot off by Xavier because he has like he's like fighting them off with a shotgun, and he's gonna shoot them for not being able to pay the food that they didn't steal.
Yeah.
Which on its own is
Shoplifters
funny.
will be executed.
Yeah.
I mean, he left his sign at the door. So
He did. But like his head is still able to talk in like garbles after being shot off, and there's a news interstitial in between that scene and the next one where the news person's like, the head's still talking. Like it's
and his
just
wife
silly.
is ritualistically killed all the
His
children
wife
and then killed
all the
herself.
children.
She disemboweled them. Disemboweled them, Chet? Yes, disembowel.
I love that as soon as he got, like, Gregg Araki got some money, he just threw in, like, insane gore
It's so
funny.
funny.
Like, just like a touch.
Yeah.
And it just, like, when it happens, it's absolutely insane.
Well, because also the film opens with sort of like its metal show. I would imagine, because I can't really remember the music that was playing.
Something.
But
Something
something.
loud.
I mean, just something aggressive and loud.
Yeah.
But I mean, like as you're saying, visually, immediately, I was like, oh, I'm fucking locked in. This looks amazing. Like and there was something also with the editing, with the flashing that's happening immediately, and I just love their whole dynamic between Jordan and Amy. Jacob, how would you describe, or actually Jaylen, how would you describe the two, like their relationship, Jordan and Amy?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to describe it.
This is the goth GF that everybody thinks they want.
Yeah, that's
Yes, exactly.
yeah. Just like she's just so out of his league, and
Yes,
and, like, he knows it,
aggressively
too.
so.
He's just such a to the point where like when she starts cheating on him with Xavier, he's just like, man, okay. Like I know
Yes.
I know this is how it's gonna be.
It seems like Jordan also would like just to get with Xavier as well, which is a very interesting dynamic that happens. But I also love that, like, as soon as gets in the car, Jordan is very chill with them. Like it's immediately like, I like this guy. He's very chill.
He gives him a nickname immediately because he says Xavier is too long for him to
It's too
pronounce.
much. Yeah.
He's like the most charmingly stupid man, and it's not stupid in a way where you're like, fuck Jordan this again. He's like just dumb enough to be silly, but not stupid enough where he's actively fucking
He gives
them
like
up.
a himbo energy.
He's so
Very
himbo.
Yes.
And it's crazy that like immediately James Duvall is this new character. Like I did not confuse him for a fucking second with Andy from the last movie.
Yeah.
He's immediately a new guy, and it's fuck. Sorry, I missed the fly. Anyway, the starkness in their personalities doesn't mean that they can't have a good relationship. Jordan and Amy, she does have a soft side. She doesn't do what I think would be the stereotypical thing and just kind of boss him around and be the dominant one in the relationship. She definitely is the one with who kind of says how things go, but not in a way that is rude. She is very nice to him when they're in private.
Yeah.
She defends him. She listens
She defers
to him
often.
Mhm.
Like she can't like. I mean, even when they like first have X in the car, she's like, "Why don't we just leave him?" And Jordan is the one who's stepping up and kind of make the decision that they will. I don't like almost like I don't know, continually bringing Amy back into like this is a good idea to have this psychotic guy come along with us continually.
Well, and she like. I feel like in other movies where that happens, where someone's like, oh, no, let's pick up the hitchhiker. Then a theme throughout the rest of the movie is, well, you told me to do this, so this is your fault. There's never any blame to Jordan for letting X just kind of hitchhike along with them. It just is, this is the situation now. I don't like you. And he's like, well, that sucks. But she never turns around and blames Jordan for X being there, which I think just should, like, it's a very positive relationship, even after she kind of starts to cheat on him, and then they become a throuple.
Yeah, shout out to Gregg Araki for showing like polycules and non-monogamy.
There we
like,
go.
I thought that was like really interesting. I don't know. I mean, I also grew up like pretty like sheltered, but I feel like I didn't like hear about polycules like seriously until later in my 20s, and I would just assumed it was kind of like a new thing. And then going back and like watching these films, I'm like, oh, okay, polyamory and queerness have been a thing for a long time.
Yeah. I love that it's like poking fun at more just how crazy of a person Xavier is, rather than the concept of a polycule or a threesome or anything like that. That's all kind of handled very, not matter-of-factly, but like, this is just an
It's like the
option
most
we
normal
have.
thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And like you say, X is just the craziest fucking guy in the whole world. He has Jesus tattooed on his dick. He joins in as a third party, an unknown third party, while Jordan and Amy are fucking in the bathtub, and then, how to put this lightly, he licks his contribution off of his own hand, and that's fucked up. He's
That was
insane.
It's crazy.
That's what the fuck. But then, like,
when it's like interesting because I didn't know where this was going. Because like when that happens, I'm like, I don't like, where is X gonna be in this?
I'm just like,
situation,
stop.
I guess. Yeah, I was like, firstly, stop.
No,
I
Saltburn
mean,
could
obviously.
never.
Oh my
Saltburn
god,
could never.
Saltburn wishes it was this fucking movie.
But then you do have that like preceding scene, and I'm not sure if it happens immediately after this or if it's like another quick stop or I don't know, drive through after this. But they come back and Jordan and Amy are sleeping in bed, and X has decided to get on top of the bed and then just take out Jesus. And then Amy awakes. And it's like, it's one of those things where I'm just expecting kind of the worst, and then it just becomes, oh, okay, this is just another, clearly she really dislikes him, but still finds something exciting about him. It's an interesting dynamic. One that's not like completely exceptional for this film or these types of characters. I like that that whole bit is never dropped, though. Like, she is continually just shitting on him. And I just, Rose McGowan, every scene she's in, she just is amazing and just has energy to the way that she shits on X that is so funny to me.
I think the scene you're talking about is also where you get there's so many good lines in this movie, but I think my absolute favorite one is when he gets on the bed, she's like, look, you fucking chunky pumpkin head. And that's such a good triplet of words. It's perfect. There's another one where like Jordan and Amy just finished fucking. He's like, hey, that reminds me, I'm hungry. And she goes, you're always hungry. And he goes, I'm a growing boy. Like he knows that he's silly too. He's not just like fully tuned out to what's going on. But in the middle of them having really funny conversations are just these moments of like crazy ass violence, like shooting off the store clerk's head, or when Bartholomew, like they go to some incredibly stereotypical hamburger restaurant where everything has the grossest possible sounding name. Like he wants like
Dino themed, yeah.
Dino themed, like what does he say? Like he wants like butter chunks or some shit like that. Something where it's like, this is slop food and that's okay. But the guy in the window recognizes Amy, or thinks he does, and he immediately just hops out of the window with a shotgun. I love that, like, some other person that works there just was like, hey, Bartholomew, what's going on? As if he didn't just jump out of the window with a shotgun at a customer.
The actual movie itself is taking this pretty seriously in terms of at least, like, these different people who come up that are just strange and often want to, like, do harm to the trio. Like, it's just another thing on this road trip.
It made me kind of think of Django Unchained, like the end of that movie where for 90% of that movie, violence is a real actual thing that can happen to these characters, and it's deplorable and it's awful. But then when the tables turn and then Django is like the higher up in the power dynamic, violence becomes cartoony and it stops being a threat. In this movie, it is a threat the entire time, and it really fucking gets them at the end where you're like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing in general is just like this like crazy like kinky killing spree modern Western. And their relationship kind of like goes off the rails in a way, and the violence, like you're kind of just like waiting it to drop off, but it just like keeps ramping up.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just going across this American like wasteland, and it's just like it's like a caricature of America and this like Western road trip. It's like teased, but they eventually do like have a threesome. And
in this warehouse
yeah.
that they enter with a
Yeah.
torch, as if like they couldn't
Right.
get another motel.
yeah, as they're like going on the killing spree, it's all of it is because these random strangers that they run into think that Amy like is their ex-girlfriend, and they have this like crazy battle or whatever. But the FBI catches on to this and was like, yeah, we gotta put an end to this.
Yeah.
So like they're hot on the case, and yeah, but yeah, they go into this warehouse. They're attacked by these like neo-Nazis. Again, it's just like it peaks at the most violent thing. It's crazy. And X gets severely beat up, and it's like, how do I want to word
That's
this
fair.
in a non-triggering way?
He forcibly does adult things to Amy.
She's attacked, yes, on top of an American flag.
Subtlety is not real in this movie.
But I think there is violence against women, but then also Jordan's penis gets cut off and forced into his mouth. So I'm like, well, at least they're not discriminating. As far as who they're attacking.
Equal horrifying
and
violence.
The extent. But Amy does like break free. And I like that she gets a little bit of a revenge moment. She gets to stab the neo-Nazis back. With some shears. I think shears.
It seems like,
and she was like, well, Jordan's fucked. So X, let's get out of here. And they ride off into the sunset. And
there's literally,
he's like, oh, you want a Dorito?
I know your boyfriend just got ultra-circumcised and killed in front of you, but do you want a Dorito?
Ultra-circumcised.
How would you say it, Nick?
I just was repeating it.
Not a very eloquent way to describe how that ends, but it's also
no. I think that's.
So
I mean, it's kind
insane.
It's so abrupt and insane too. Yeah, like because the violence. I mean, prior to this is
it's so uncomfortable,
it's
like in a way. But it's like it's funny. It's funny, but I feel I feel a little apprehensive to laugh because it's so edgy, like, in a way, but it is, like, dark comedy, and it is funny, and not that serious, but also using very serious elements.
I was a little not mad at the ending. I was just like, they finally had a sweet moment, the three of them. That is the that is the theme of the movie, that, like, they have to keep running from something at all times because that's what keeps the road trip going. They finally got their polycule on, and they understood each other, and now
I guess it's happening. The boys are gonna kiss. The boys are gonna kiss.
The boys are gonna kiss. The boys are gonna do way more than kiss. The boys are gonna do way more than kiss.
Severn dick.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it has that sort of like almost like horror kind of. You're punished for your polycule. But I mean, the way the movie's played though is that it doesn't feel like this. It's jarring in some ways, but like it all fits as kind of a piece. It culminates in a way that, like, though I was surprised by what kind of violence was happening, it wasn't like surprising.
Right. For sure.
It's like filth in a way that kind of reminds me of like John Waters. Where it's just like, how far can we push this? And it also kind of, directs it back at the audience and makes them reflect, like, why am I watching this? Like, why am I revved up about this? Like, I'm so into it, but I feel like ashamed to be into these things. Just John Waters is a legend, so a queer legend. So it feels kind of like a callback to that like mantra of filth.
There is a distinction.
There's such an element of camp throughout that makes it that takes the edge off a little bit. That makes it not so serious.
Yeah, and it also makes the movie just like very palatable, that you can say like, oh, it's a silly movie, so even though there is a lot of violence, it knows that the violence is difficult, and so like you can get into it a lot more without having to just make a disclaimer. Like, we watched the Trilogy of Life, Pasolini's Trilogy of Life, a while ago, and that was something where it's like, yeah, there's like, you gotta kind of prep people to watch a movie like that. Same with something like Funny Games, and this one, it's like I said, it's Tarantino violence, where it's like it's cartoonish, it's real, and it's gnarly, but it's not something where like it's trying to make things be super realistic.
It reminds me too a lot of what's that Oliver Stone movie? Natural Born Killers. Very trippy and cartoony, but it's violence, and also like a crazy road trip modern western type beat.
One thing was about the Tarantino connection too. I was thinking like, wow, it's I don't know. It's something that is so talked about with his films, and this film is like particular in its own way. It's like niche in some ways, but I'm also like, I don't know why this isn't in the canon that I was I don't know brought up watching. Like this should have been squarely in that 90s film group that I should have been hearing about.
I think it was because it didn't do very well with the critics. Because I'm looking at, I think it has like a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. Obviously, Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around back then for people to check like it is now. But I think it came out right around a few other movies that had a similar kind of maximalist vibe to them, like Reservoir Dogs, like Pulp Fiction. And so it might have either gotten lost or just overshadowed by some things. But I think also it might have been something where a movie like
with
this,
it being so inherently queer too, like especially during the time of its release, like the general population, just there are some people who they're inherently like discriminating against it, or it's like not as because he is very much like, this is, you know, queer movies for queer people. Like I'm not going to adhere to a straight gaze, and that can be off-putting for some of those viewers, especially during that time. But also, I mean, it was very indie. I know Tarantino had to have watched this.
I would be so surprised if he didn't. Like even
honestly,
it being an independent level movie, it had definitely a bigger budget than his other ones, but this is an independent movie. It was made for less than $1 million. Tarantino must have seen this.
Shit.
He must
this film just looks but he must have. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was like 800,000 or something.
That's
I think, for
incredible.
this one. Yeah.
This film looks fantastic.
It really does.
Oh my god, that was like half the fun in watching it. I was just like, what are you visually gonna do next? Like there was just even just how like shots are framed.
Like
there's
every scene. Yeah, every composition, the set design, what they're wearing, their hairstyles, their accessories, the lighting, the colors, like just every little detail was thought out. Every artistic choice that could be made was recognized and made correctly.
I think the standout shot, because there were so many, when Jordan like finishes having sex with Amy and then he goes to get food and he like knows that Xavier and Amy are about to fuck, and Jordan just like goes to eat some gas station shrimp and buy a yo-yo, and then he's just walking through like, I don't know if it's a junkyard or something, but it like he's in silhouette with his little light up yo-yo, and then there's just this big billow of smoke in the background, and it looks almost kind of sci-fi. It keeps hitting you with these slow moments amidst all this violence and all this like flash cut editing that just make it such a cool movie to I would love to eventually go and rewatch it, because there's all these little bits that you're just like, this looks incredible. Like you said, it's just so much fun.
It like rewards you for like rewatching like all of these movies, because they are so fast paced and so visually thought out. It's like every second there is something to look at and something new to see. And that's what I really appreciate, that when something, especially films, are made in a way that rewards viewers to rewatch them over and over again.
If you had to like put a word to Totally Fucked Up and then a word to this one, what do you think those would be?
First gut reaction to Totally Fucked Up, I was just like, emo.
Yeah. You're right.
Emo. And then chaos for Doom Generation. Just straight chaos. Just like nonstop.
Anthropological for just not a very fun word for, but it's one that comes to mind for me for Totally Fucked Up. And then Doom Generation is just, I don't know, like this is not like the right word, but I keep thinking of the term that's used in like A Clockwork Orange, ultra violence. Like it just this is just the fun, like sporadic, messy, and fun and creative.
I mean, I think campy is a good way to describe this one.
Yeah.
In a way that like I guess I was thinking Totally Fucked Up is kind of post campy, where it knows the silliness of how people are talking and the not ultra violent, but like ultra real world that it is. Everything is kind of dialed up to 11. And so placing these characters who are very challenged to give a fuck about stuff in a world like that, where everything is heightened, creates this really interesting dichotomy that is different from this one, where the characters are at a 12 when the world is at an 11, you know? Yeah. So I don't know what words those would be, but that's what it is.
One word, Jacob.
One word. Sorry. Let's see. Heterosexual for the Doom Generation.
Don't make me cancel you again.
Fuck, no. Well, third time's a charm. I was just thinking, I really like the appreciation for like the art in this movie, because it takes a lot more time to let you see the wardrobe and the production design, and like it has a stronger musical identity to the point where I saw in the credits it says like go and buy the fucking soundtrack album in the credits, which is such a nice touch to all of this. It's
like, please, we spent half of the budget on this, please.
they must
absolutely.
have. There's so many songs and so much music, but I really like this one. I think it's fighting with Nowhere for my favorite of the trilogy, but this one, it's such an impressive vibe coming from Totally Fucked Up and not knowing anything about any of these movies, where, like I said, I thought this was going to be just another found footage thing, different characters, and having this immediately be just so much more technically purposeful was really, really cool to see. And it made me so excited for Nowhere, because it just it dials things up yet again. So Nick, tell us about Nowhere.
What can I tell you about Nowhere? I mean, it goes in so many different ways, so this will be an interesting one to like summarize. Kids that are in high school or post high school, along with all the people they kind of meet throughout the day, and it's kind of a day in the life of their strange things that occur. I mean, it's hard to say because there's so many also characters, so I don't know who I would like focus on in particular, but I mean, the two main leads of the film would be Dark, as in the absence of light is what he describes.
Absence of light.
And then, light. And then Mel, Dark and Mel are in a relationship, and Mel is kind of this extroverted, polyamorous person, and she has her other partner Lucifer as well as other people that she kind of meets, and it's kind of about Dark's day, but it's also about all these other characters as they're kind of going. We've got Montgomery, we've got Alyssa, we've got Dingbat, Egg. I mean, it's hard to say where we all want to go. I don't know.
Egg.
Elvis. We've got the guy from Baywatch who is aggressively in the scene I don't like, but but it's basically like, I mean, I think it's like a fever dream in LA in this one particular day of these kids' lives where a lot of crazy, weird, strange things happen, but they all kind of are of a piece.
This feels like Gregg Araki said, okay, you like Doom Generation? What if I prove to you that I am maybe the best production designer of all time?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And like on top of that, it's just
thank you for giving me more money.
Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
It has so much going on at any given time that it's like it's hard to kind of really attach yourself to one or two characters, but it doesn't matter because it's just throwing color and insane shit at you the whole time that it's really just, it's almost a fever dream. It's much more of a comedy, it's much more of an ensemble movie, it's much more of a
also sci-fi
question mark.
Yeah, sci-fi. Yes, yeah, sci-fi. Like if a camera, and I'm like, oh, okay, like shit.
Okie dokie.
Bye, Montgomery.
Fuck. And it's a movie where color plays so much more of a role than it did in the other two. I mean, in Doom Generation, their names are red, white, and blue, so like you got that. But in this one, I don't think there's a single ungelled light in this entire movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Every single light has color in some way. It's really saturated, and it makes every single frame just so addicting to look at. And that's on top of all the crazy shit
this
that's
is my
going
Coco
on.
Melon.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good way to put it.
Coco Melon for
like
people with art degrees.
Let's go. More people with art degrees need to see movies like this and be like, not everything needs to have Netflix look. Like you can put a purple light in the scene and not have it be
It
motivated.
doesn't need to look
It's
like
okay.
a David Fincher like lookalike. Okay, like this film's gonna have color and create. I don't know.
Your sets don't need to make sense. Everybody's room in this
Exactly.
movie. Dark lives in a
Just
storm
have fun.
room.
Have fun.
Yeah, Dark lives in a storm room. Bart lives in a text room. His parents have plaid room. Like Mel is polka dot room. And none of this makes any sense. But
The drug dealer's in TV room.
the drug dealer, yeah. It's like, where do you go to
It
get
has like a very like pop art feel to it, especially
it
like
super
I don't
does,
know,
yeah.
Yes.
Mel's room and
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure this is
it's
what
just,
Andy Warhol saw the
I
first
just
time he
wanna
took
live-
ecstasy.
I want to live in this world so badly.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't even compare it to anything else. Like of just like how
It
visually
looks
scrumptious it is.
it looks like a 6-year-old like drew the design for all the sets, and the people were like, all right, yeah, no notes. We're just going to do all of that.
But at like a fantastic quality. And,
Yeah.
And it's like, I also love how the sets will kind of change depending on like kind of what's happening. Like even in the opening when we see Dark, like he's in the shower having this, like he's trying to have a session with himself. And the shower is so big. I mean, the whole film has this like dreamlike quality that like only in specific to things become like a little bit more filled in, but like when you're thinking about like the idea of someone in a shower, it's like it is this kind of bigger space often, or like this space in your own
He's
head.
basically in a white void with hot and cold dials on the wall.
yes, and then but then he's like also flashing between all the different like pieces of what he's like thinking about to get himself off. Then when we get to the actual shower, like when his mom is knocking on the door, it's like, oh, now we're back in the shit. Like
his mom and
it's still
her,
a
like,
large bathroom,
Shrek
but it
green
is
face makeup who
yes.
screams across 8 jump cuts because she's that mad at him.
I fucking love the jump cuts in this. Yeah.
It's so good. Like this is a campy movie. Like the other two had bits of it.
Yeah.
This is full on like this is Gen Z John
It's cranked
Waters.
up a notch.
Yeah.
I don't know, something I even though I it's like a love-hate thing with it, I really like the show Riverdale, but all the characters talk the same. Even it doesn't matter who, they all have the same reference pool, they all have like the same strange kind of dialogue, even though I like the dialogue in that show because it's so campy. But this one, it's like when Dark says something versus what Mel says, they'll be exaggerated and strange, but in their own particular way.
And it almost feels kind of like
Dark
Wayne's World.
cracks me up so much.
Dark is so funny.
He's such a sad boy. He like kind of annoyed me the first time I watched him. I'm like, oh my god, get over yourself.
Yeah.
And I think I always like, you always kind of want to compare yourself to like the characters that you're watching.
Yeah.
And I feel like the first time I watched this, I was like, I'm like Mel. I'm free spirited baddie, yes. And then the like second time around, I'm like, damn, I hate Dark.
I'm the
because
lizard.
I am him. I am the depressed sim. Like, oh, why don't you love me? Why don't you love me? No.
Love my art. Love my room.
I don't want to be open.
I don't want to be open. I want my room to just have a picture of me on the wall that I presumably painted.
Yeah. Yes, his room is so awesome.
Every single place is so cool. Like at this party that they go to, there's a storm cloud room, and then right outside that is like the 60s stripe room. And then like the bathroom looks like it's at a restaurant. There's so many different things in here. There's another thing where they all take ecstasy and then play hide and seek in a park.
Play kick the can.
Yeah. And Montgomery, who is this like insanely like hyper attractive boy with heterochromia, is just in this backrooms ass like locker room space.
Yes.
And it's just every single scene is this wildly new location, and you're like, I'm glad that whatever money you had went to all of these things, because they almost never reuse a set. The alien costume that looks sick, the bigger costume at the end, whoever had to like laser print a bunch of text on Bart's blanket to match his big ass wall that goes over his door. It's so maximalist. I Love Boosters just came out, and it feels like this and that movie are very close together.
Of a T. It also reminded me a lot of like Tim Burton's production designer. Like, is it Boz something? I can't like it. There's this way that like the spaces are caricatures of what these things are in a way that's like very visually interesting. But I love Dark's room also in the sense that it's like so much the like Ferris Bueller room, but like times 10 because he's got all the video equipment. He's got all, but everything is not on anything. Like
everything you know about teenage movies. It just absolutely cracked out on acid.
Yeah, like he has a like a bit of old food in his room, but it's a sandwich that is so moldy it looks like a sponge.
Yeah.
And even aside from all of the like maximalism and the insane colors, there's still just this very innocent undercurrent through the whole thing where it's like these kids still just want love. They want to be valued. You see that with Mel's brother Zero and his girlfriend Zoe. That when they started off, I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, this girl just wants him to go to so that she can get to the party, because that's what it feels like it's setting up. But then no, like it is a legitimate positive relationship where she really just loves this kid for him, even though he gets his mom's car stolen and he can't figure out how to get to the party until they just find some hitchhikers, I guess.
Dude, I have found parties that way. When I was like, I saw myself in that. this was on campus in MSU. Very, very dumb freshman year, just following groups of people. This was with other groups of people, I should say. Just a bunch of yeah. But that just made me laugh because I was like, this is so dumb that this is similar to what my experience was.
But there's also like Dark's whole thing later in the movie where he like he wants someone to love him for who he is, and he enjoys sex like all these characters do. But I mean, Mel is just kind of in it to party for a little bit, and Dark is like, he's trying to find the artsy side. He wants to go spend so much money on CDs and then come home to someone who loves him. And it's just like, man, that is a very sweet and innocent thing to want, especially in this like acid world that they live in.
Yeah. When I love also,
like $387
that
on
was the
CDs.
funniest fucking line. I saw 4 people get abducted. Someone tried to drown himself, and I spent $400 on CDs. So silly.
It's like him. I
all
really
the
am
lines are
him.
like this. Yeah.
He is me.
But I felt very much of a piece with the video kid in that as well. I felt like I've been in that spot where I'm like bringing my video camera everywhere. I mean, the most exaggerated way, but Dark is definitely like it's us film school kids. Just, just like but I don't know. I appreciate also that even though Dark is having this angst about Mel's like the fact that she's polyamorous or more open to more experiences with other people, and she does not want to be locked down into a monogamous relationship, is that in most cases the film does not ever portray that as like the wrong choice for her, or that she's being like it's entirely like about Dark's insecurities about it, as opposed to like oh gosh, like isn't Mel a horrible person?
And she's
like,
never dishonest about it either.
No, she'll continually tell him. I mean, I loved that about their relationship. Like,
she'll go find like
I love everybody.
The himbo Da Vinci versions of the twins from The Shining, and
I saw, fuck
them.
And they love that they talk in unison.
Their names are Surf and Ski, which is just so perfect for this movie. It's really silly that like Mel and Zoe are the 2 most normally named characters in the entire movie.
Yeah, we've got Egg, Dingbat, Elvis,
Surf, Ski, Valley Girl group.
Parker Posey. Yep.
There's Handjob, there's Cowboy. This sounds like a joke, but all these are people in the movie.
These are yeah.
Like, and from a thematic place, I think this also, because we said it kind of goes sci-fi, it does also deal with, I think, the biggest insecurities about all of them. Like the Totally Fucked Up felt very intimate in terms of what the characters were worried about. Like they were worried about being allowed to be gay in the world and finding their place. In Doom Generation, it's like, you know, they still want to find a place, but it's just like, can we live without someone trying to kill us? This is like, what if there are aliens in the world? and how do you stop drugs? Like it's so funny. And then there is still like this really wacky, weird terrorist group called the Atari Gang, who just hold up a child in a car. And what's the thing that the guy is saying? He's like, I'm full of hate. I want to kill. And there's just no, whatever subtlety had been squeezed out of the Doom Generation, like someone juicing an orange, is fucking gone here.
Yeah. And then it's like, and even though I don't really like where the storyline with Egg and the Baywatch guy goes, I fucking loved the exaggeration of like firstly that it's just him, like it's just the guy from Baywatch. It's like playing himself. And then he picks Egg. They go on this walk, and it's like, I love that he just does these lines like, "You seem different. You just want to disappear." In
his silly Australian accent.
Absolutely, and and I don't know. I was really surprised that the film went. I guess it's like that's not outside of what the Doom Generation does, but I just really dislike that whole bit with the whole like it's like this. We're just gonna have an aggressive.
I think we could have
scene in the middle,
cut out the violence against women. I don't think it was that necessary to the plot.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you also get those like scenes of like the like TV like church worship like ads like kind of
1-800-GO-JESUS with dollar signs.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there is some content there kind of juxtaposing like her trauma to you know to religion and Christianity and stuff, but it's it's a little much. Yeah.
But it does feel like it's very much of the era. Like I couldn't help also think this film reminded me a lot of this is, I don't know if it's actually in the 90s, but the Scooby-Doo movie randomly has this strange vibe that also like that live action adaptation where you're like, this does feel like strange. This does not feel like a Scooby-Doo movie. But also by James Gunn has that kind of vibe. But
this does feel kind of
like,
trauma-y. Now that you bring up James Gunn, this does feel
very trauma-y. Yeah. Which is not bad at all. This is not as if he's not playing with these themes already. Like, it's just that they just end up in this way that just can be, it's not out of character. I'd be interested to know, like, Jaylen, do you have a sense of, like, where his films go after this? Like, are they all kind of a piece with this, or do they go in kind of a very different direction?
I think they do kind of go. I mean, he still has, like, kind of a core style, but he definitely, like, experiments with other things. Like, one of his more newer movies, which I think is vastly different, but still very fun and, like, camp in a way, is Smiley Face with Anna Faris. One of the best stoner films of all time. It is so funny. Like, it is just so, it's such a great comedy. It's just, like, a stoner flick that's not just like two dudes like saying slurs and
Dude, that's so true.
What's wrong with all those Avatar movies from the early 2000s?
Yeah, and she's just so like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I love, like Pineapple Express and Superbad and like other stuff like that. Having a comedy that is like a female lead, it's Anna Faris is like a struggling actress who is a stoner who just smokes all of her money away, but she accidentally like eats too many edibles, relatable, and forgets that she has an audition, and she kind of goes on this like series of misadventures to get to the audition. It's not as avant-garde, like it's definitely like a straight up comedy, but there's definitely still some elements that scream Gregg Araki. Like, it's very colorful, just the style of humor, and there's like an element of campiness to it that's awesome. One of his other big movies, when I bring up Gregg Araki to people, usually Mysterious Skin is the one they've like heard of, and that movie, it's very, very dark. It's very intense. It has Joseph Gordon-Levitt, a very early performance by him in it. Okay. And, oh my gosh, what's his name? He directed The Brutalist.
Brady Corbett's in Mysterious Skin? What the fuck?
Yeah, I think so. Wait, let me double check. I'm pretty sure
he is.
Like, the other
That's crazy.
guy in it. Yeah, it definitely has some like similar elements of just like it being like a very solemn subject mixed with kind of there's alien elements to it in a way, but it's really about trauma and how these two young men experienced trauma together, just remembering having repressed memories, and like one of the characters, like the way he's coping with it is he is having these repressed memories come back, and he doesn't have all the details, and he's assuming he had an alien encounter, and it's like him navigating that and trying to reconnect with the other character. How they both had the same trauma, and how as they go into their lives of young adults, how that is affecting them. It's so interesting,
intense. Like to think about like how that is. I don't want to say seated in this film, but like it's like I don't know, that theme of literally alienation, but it's also presented as an alien encounter is really interesting.
Yeah.
Dan, you really need to watch.
Definitely very. It's a hard watch. Very good, very good. But definitely, Mysterious Skin is one of those where I was like, it'll probably be like a couple years before I can rewatch this. It is very intense. But Smiley Face, oh my god, I could comfort movie, something I can just throw on all the time, and it's so underrated. Oh, It is so underrated. I feel like it took me a long time to get around to that. Like, I didn't even realize it was a Gregg Araki movie when I first watched it. But I had seen the cover. Like, I feel like it was just like one of those that I always saw at like the video like rental store or like at Entertain Mart or something, and just like never. I was like, oh, that's Anna Faris, but just like never bothered to like look at it. And then I finally watched it, and I was like, why did it take me so long to watch this? Like, this is genuinely like the funniest movie I've ever seen.
To bring it back to his style here, I definitely agree that it's something where it feels like he's just maturing as a director and a filmmaker over the course of this trilogy. But I mean, also as a writer, because he had a very particular vibe, as we talked about with Totally Fucked Up, And it just it develops to something that doesn't feel like it's fighting with the movie as much in this one. There's still
it's polished, like as you get towards the end of the trilogy. There's
still weirdness in there, like there's and I think some of it is on the nose on purpose. Like there's something where two people are fucking at the party, and what does one of them say? I really don't want to I put myself into this corner, but here's the clip. Someone says, "I can feel the vein of your purple-headed monster throbbing inside me." And the guy's response to that is just to go supersonic. Like that. What a silly conversation for two characters to have, but it fits in this movie. And it's just full of those things that I don't know how to say it in different ways that just like take the vibe and really laser in on what he wants these movies to feel like. And it's really successful in this movie in particular.
You go from an ensemble to one that's more about this trio to one that is just this. I wouldn't say it's even too much, but just overfilling of characters, because
this is like a so troupe but compared to an ensemble.
Genuinely, the connections are interesting because they're not really like logic connections. They're often by like specific shot, like match cuts. Elvis and I can't remember her name, but their relationship,
Alyssa,
Alyssa, and then it's like, but then that's being contrasted with her twin, it's as they're both saying daddy and mommy, as they both like it is like, oh my god,
in that scene when like Elvis, who is this like motorcycle fuckboy super buff type of dude, he like asks Alyssa to tie him up. And she like he pulls like a leash or something out of the couch, and in this one shot there's just a Nietzsche book on the couch in between them, and it's
like he doesn't believe anything.
It doesn't mean a single fucking thing to the plot. It's just a little bit. It's a little prop in there that.
Also, the nipple ring jump scare.
Fuck
oh my
that.
god.
Oh my god, that one was insane.
Fuck that shit.
Because that is the preceding like connective tissue that I'm like, oh my god.
Chocolate heart jump scare.
That was so funny.
Cockroach jump scare. There's a lot of shit in this movie.
Or just alien jump scare, where there's
You're right.
Straight up.
Montgomery turning, and it's like, oh shit, okay, this is where this film is. It's like this is exactly.
Yeah, I feel like Nowhere, I feel like it's just it takes everything I love about the first two films and pops it out into this fun baby.
Yeah.
Like it has, just like following these kind of just kind of like what is happening like within this like friend group of teenagers as they're navigating like relationships and hormones and their feelings, but is also like amped up and crazy and chaotic like the second film is, and brings that element of camp and mixes it with that DIY punk. I just feel like that's why it's my favorite one, I'd say, out of the three.
It's really good. It's also like a super badass movie because it's not super badass. It's a super bad style movie in that it's just about all these characters wanting to go to this big party that's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the party is nothing compared to the build up to the party, Like when we get there, it's basically just, it's a room to get all these characters in the same place and then have them kind of talk about things or finish their character arcs. But the party really doesn't matter, even though that is the kind of MacGuffin that everyone is currying towards.
Which also feels so accurate for how I don't know, like for how teens their parties
I feel like that's like kind of like what being a teenager is like. Yeah.
The party is the most important thing, but man, you don't really want to go.
It's just a bunch of 10 teenagers in a room, and there's like maybe 2 bottles of wine or something, and you're like,
someone
crazy.
Gets killed via a soup can.
Someone gets that
Another
scene was,
reference, perhaps.
Holy shit, that scene was. Elvis just pops in and then kills the guy named Handjob in cold fucking blood.
And the alien's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get another cold one. You guys want anything?
Exactly, yeah.
And then after that, you get. Kind of like Doom Generation, you get like 3 minutes of something sweet before fuck all of that shit. Like Montgomery comes back, he climbs in through Dark's window, and he's like, they did experiments on me, but I don't want to leave. And like Dark is, I think, pretty clearly bisexual, or at least thinking about that, because in the beginning when he's in the shower, he's thinking about like these two, I don't know what the plural of this is. I said dominatrices. I don't know if that's the plural of dominatrix. But and Mel and also Montgomery. And so when Montgomery climbs in through his window after he and Mel kind of friend break up or something along those lines, Dark is like, he found someone who just wants to be with him for him and isn't concerned with the physical aspects of it as much. It's very sweet. You get like a nice little moment, and then Montgomery has a seizure and explodes. And becomes a cockroach, and the cockroach just goes, "I'm out of here," and then fucks off, and so does the movie. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Even more so than the "You Want a Dorito" ending of Doom Generation. That's something where it's like, I don't know where you could possibly go after that. Then Dark just in his bed covered in blood screaming, and the cockroach just like going off into the sunset.
Thinking about teen movies as a genre is there's often like this strange there's like the dramas, and then there's also these comedies that are often about gross out humor, and it's just like also turning it into this like, what if it's just a parody of itself? Yeah, something aggressively crazy happens, but it makes no goddamn sense. Like it honestly reminded me a lot of also this is a much better film. Nowhere is a much better film than this, but Freddy Got Fingered, where it's like often
yes,
it like often digresses into like the whole point is to like almost attack
absurdity.
The audience's expectation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like what is the kind of worst thing this character could do, or the most strange thing that could happen, and just I mean, this film does it for I think the best. I think Freddy Got Fingered is not a film I particularly enjoy, but
no, really,
but yeah,
crazy.
Tom Green is not. I'm sorry to say, not one of his best.
I've been fucking saying this.
You cowards.
Freddy Got Fingered 4K.
We can finally see the abortion scene, or the
elephant fuck scene where
the child decapitation.
Criterion should do like, honestly, they need to do like a 0% Rotten Tomatoes box set that's like that, Master of Disguise, Baby Geniuses 2,
Master of Disguise,
fucking Jack and
Master
Jill,
of Disguise,
all lovingly.
I used to watch Master of Disguise all the time as a
Pistachio
child.
Disguise.
I didn't really watch like Disney movies, really. Like I just had a strange collection. I had a strange collection of just like my parents' like DVDs, and Master of Disguise is one. Another one I need to shout out real quick. It's called Joe's Apartment. It's one of MTV's like first films, and it's about this dude who moves from the Midwest to New York City, and he's trying to find a cheap apartment. And he stumbles into a rent-frozen apartment, but it's infested by singing cockroaches that try to help him. And it's so goofy. But like the cover says like sex, bugs, and rock and roll. And, like
hell yeah,
the soundtrack's awesome.
I love that.
But it's also like kind of woke and like anti-prison establishment.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh,
you should check it out. It's very goofy, but anyways, what I was saying is I was watching Joe's Apartment and Master of Disguise, and I think that explains a lot about who I am.
There you go. Turtle.
I think I had a skim to like
you were saying, you guys were saying this as a teen movie kind of stands out because of it just ends with the absurdity, but I also really like that in a lot of those teen movies, and I think something like Wet Hot American Summer plays on this really well. Their endings usually tend to be, we'll still be friends even if we go off to college. Like, what do you think is going to happen after we graduate?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No matter what happens, we'll always have the times that we shared. And it can leave them feeling kind of hokey at the end of it. This one's just like, man, fuck you if you think any of these characters are going to matter after this. One of them is a cockroach now.
Yeah.
Go home.
I named one of them hand job, and he gets hit by a can. Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like a fuck you. Like, this doesn't have meaning, but the fact that it doesn't have meaning, like, gives it meaning in a sense of, like, that existential millennial dread and absurdity and feeling lost in a world that's super hyper like overstimulated but is ultimately like meaningless, I guess, depending on how you look at it, but like from the perspective of these characters. So it's like doesn't mean anything, but by not meaning anything it does circle back to having significance.
Well, and also just in not giving it a bunch of specificity, it means kind of like the location in Totally Fucked Up. It means that people who are feeling whatever can adapt themselves into this movie because it's very non-specific and it's very over the top. So like if you feel scared because you were left out of the party scene, if you feel nervous about your like continuing relationship with somebody now that you're not going to be kids for very much longer, if you feel scared about like your creative output in the world, there's elements of that throughout this entire movie, and those are much bigger fears and like things to deal with, and this movie doesn't necessarily give solutions, but it's like, I see you. Take acid and you will see me.
I think what's also nice about this like trilogy of films is that we've used people like John Waters and Lynch to kind of talk about them, but it's like, this can be how a film is, and that's perfectly great. All the films, even if they end in these kind of, I don't want to say even down notes, but just they don't have these endings that are like satisfying, that can still be really valuable. And like, because it's all of the little pieces in between. It's these little moments or big moments that may not, like, that's meaningful in their own way. I like to use that Harmony Korine thing. It's just, even though nowhere is not exactly real life at all, but it's like all these intangible little moments along the way that it's like, yeah, what did you want? What would you want as a resolution for this?
Right.
Like, it's more about like this trip we took together through it. I just feel like very inspired after watching all three. I got like that. You ever watch those things where it just like kind of creatively amps you again?
It's
it's
a completely new creative voice, and it just like it opens you up to another side of film, of art, of anything, and it makes you really excited to see more of this person's voice and explore this side of cinema, because like I know that like queer cinema is
just like challenges like what a film can be and could be. Like I feel like he really like attacks his style of filmmaking. It's so aggressive and on the pulse, and it's just so punk rock. I just can't help to just like feel that energy, and like you guys like just like feel inspired and invigorated by it.
I man, fuck that. I'm gonna cut that out. So all three of those movies.
Not what you said, Jaylen. Just his.
No. Obviously, I would never cut what Jaylen said, because that matter didn't have substance. I was trying to think of a way to...
very meaningful. Yeah.
Shut up, Nick. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. It does make me like really interested in checking out his new movie that's coming out, and just trying to explore more of like queer cinema, knowing how much of a force he was in that, like, since the 90s. It just provides another angle of these things, because I think a lot of the discourse around like queer representation in movies, at least in my circles, has been stuff like he did Rivalry or Leviticus, or Stop That Train is a movie that's out right now that's like a spoof movie with RuPaul and a bunch of drag queens, and all of that is like very valuable, and all that is stuff that I'm glad is hitting the mainstream, but none of it feels like it hits the same vibe as this, where
it's like after watching this and then like trying to watch some other like queer films, it's like it just sets the bar at a new level. And now seeing what a queer movie could look like, and then comparing it to something like Brokeback Mountain or Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which I love both of those films and I think they're great. But they just kind of follow those same kind of beats of, you know, a period piece where they can't really be together, be together, and it's like finally something that is explosive and experimental, absurdist, like just something that's so like off the wall and like way more interesting. It's like. Like, look at the range that we can have with these films, you know?
I mean, like you said, Jaylen, it's not like queer for straights. It's like, it's just a movie that happens to have gay people in it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making us watch those, because they were so cool and so much fun. And like, I have a new director to check out now, and that's one of the most exciting parts about this whole podcast.
Computer, make this podcast gay and horny.
Uh-oh. Third host, let's go. Speaking of gay and horny, La Vie de Bohème. Neither of those two things, really, but another movie we watched. Computer, make this podcast sad and French. La Vie de Bohème. The randomizer picked this one out for us, and what a fucking left turn that was compared to these movies. Instead of what if was gay and teenager, what if was artist and not doing artist stuff, or I guess what if was drunk and unemployed, which, I mean, me too, buddy. But this movie is about three guys, Marcel, Rodolfo, and Chonard, who are all just artists living in France. Marcel is a poet, Rodolfo is a painter, and Chonard is a musician. And none of them are, I would say, all that good at what they do, but they're all just trying to find I guess, ways to live their lives and make money as artists, but at the same time, they are just kind of chronically out of touch with the world and with themselves as people, to the point where Marcel and Rodolfo get girlfriends and they ain't up to the task of that.
I just imagine this is what the average Bushwick resident is like.
Shit, you're right. Shit.
Just like broke artists living together, like
broke artists on a commune,
unemployed,
sharing their like thimble of wine that the bar gives them. But this, even though it was a very different movie emotionally and subject wise, I still liked it. It was Nick and I said this about one of the first movies we watched for the podcast, which was Secret of the Grain, which is another kind of slow moving French movie. And this is one that you really got to lock in for in a very different way from the Gregg Araki movies, because those are over the top and in your face. They use the film itself as a tool to tell the story. This one is not that way, even though it was made in the 90s too. Like, this feels like it could be a movie from the 30s or the 60s or anything.
Yeah, because it has very much that like slow acting, like it's very like warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, just that like kind of like slow, but it's still like a comedy in a way. It's just more of like a dry.
This is
kind of deadpan.
If the Gregg
it's
Araki,
like a depressing charmer in a way too.
That's
which
a good way to put it.
They're both kind of like that in that sense of like it's kind of a downer, but it's also like kind of charming at the end of the day.
This is a movie for people who like stick their pinky out when they drink they wine, versus the Gregg Araki movies are for people who stick their pinky out to do a bump off of it.
It's like a shot of espresso
or a metaphorical
versus...
bump. Yeah, exactly.
A shot of espresso versus 2 tabs of acid. Yeah, like you said, this is still a funny movie. There is like there is kind of an elevated comedy to it, kind of vaudeville ass, where it's like Marcel can't pay his rent because of course he can't, because he's a starving artist, and he like puts his little typewriter outside his window when his landlord comes to evict him. He like takes all his stuff and then he writes the landlord a letter addressed from the Ministry of War. And he starts off with, delusion that I thought I could pay my rent back. It's like, that's such a fuck ass move, but it is really funny. It keeps showing us how none of these guys are good at art. Rodolfo's paintings don't look amazing. Anytime Chonard plays his music, it sounds like some kid just fucking around on the piano. And yet they're so goddamn committed to the art that they're doing that they refuse to even think about anything else to do in life aside from their art until the end of the movie, where it kind of swerves from a very dry comedy to I'm going to cry.
I kept also thinking, even though it's like of a different era and a different like type of situation than we were in, I thought a lot about my college time of this. Like there was a period of like, I feel like my sophomore year, I was with bunch of friends who were not quite in the best place. And they were also we all used to hang out in this like really kind of shitty apartment that they had, which we all had shitty apartments. That was definitely the thing.
College.
But just too many people living there. It's college. But just I just remember all of us who had spent that time that sophomore year often there and drinking and kind of we're describing, we were all just so sad and like that. And that's like definitely the vibe I kept feeling from this. I was like just sad artists who don't really know what the next step is, and like, are we in, are we out with this, and like the kind of the thing.
This felt very in line with a lot of the plays turned movies that we've watched. These sad guys live their life, and that is the whole movie. And they find the humor, and they find the warmth, and they find the love in their sad lives, but there really isn't much that the movie is trying to tell you. It's not an American movie where it's like, if Marcel would have just pulled himself up from his bootstraps, he would have been successful. It's like, no, some people who want to do art, this isn't gonna
work out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is gonna hit me really hard. Some people who want to do art, maybe that's not the thing they should be doing.
Like there is this trope, and often a trope within like artistic communities, where it's like you're living in a world where it's like you have to build this monetary thing like for your lives, and and if you set yourself on your art, you're doing two things. First, you're commercializing it in a way that you're gonna have an entirely different relationship to it. Then you have to actually, I don't know, play in the marketplace in a way that is totally at odds with what it means to do art. The third thing for them is just the fact that they aren't very good at it. Like it's like it isn't going to be the thing that is going to get them out of this sad squalor that they're in. That I also respond to that kind of that strife. It's like if you're in that artistic journey, it's like it's entirely hard to know, like, am I doing something that's valuable? But it's like if you are into art, if you like pursuing it, it's hard to also walk away from it, and and they don't, sadly.
And having that commitment of just like I can't just get a regular job. I'm an artist. That's like that's my core. And I like have to be a miserable, starving artist, and there's no other way to approach it. It's like it's black or white. It's either I do this or I sell my soul and do commercial work. Like, there
you go.
It's like no, it's chill. You can also eat and be an artist. That's fine. Yes, exactly, but I love that it plays out. It plays out that scenario that we feel like we're faced with.
Yeah. I have to go buy $1,000 worth of paint. I can't buy food this month. Please let me stay at your house. Like there's so much funny stuff like that.
No, please, promise. I have big things coming soon.
I swear, it's the big client's just a month away. And I just love everybody in this movie who's trying to impart reality onto these three like fucking schmucks that I love how good of friends they are, that there's very little hesitation when one of them needs something, the other two just kind of hop into it. Like Marcel, when he does get an advance on a job, he like immediately gives Rodolfo money for paint and Chonard money for a car so that they can help him with this thing. But I feel like deep down he would know that they ain't gonna fucking do that. Or like Rodolfo gets deported because that's a subplot in this movie. And as soon as he's able to get, like, Marcel immediately is like, I'm going to take your paintings. I'm going to take care of your dog. When Rodolfo sneaks his way back into the country, they're like, well, we're going to go to the border. We're going to sneak you back in. No questions asked. We're just going. And there's something very sweet about that.
Talk about ride or dies.
I know, right? And that's
genuinely
great.
Friends.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of, I feel like this kind of circles back to creating like a found family and a community, and especially during capitalistic times.
Yeah. I just keep thinking about when the guy who I don't remember if he ever has like a name or something, but the guy who gives Marcel the advance for this magazine and then the magazine fails, and the movie is primarily in French, but when this guy like demands his money back from Marcel, he gets in the car, he just goes, "You son of a bitch," and he like drives away. It's just English when there is not any, and it's so silly.
I also really love the random just like punk scene that's like there for like really no reason.
Where they're playing fucking Surfing Bird? What the fuck was that?
And everyone just like bobbing
that
up
was
and down. I was
that
like,
hit me like fucking whiplash. That hit me like
I was like, okay, I'm into this now.
I was just like, why is the Family Guy song popping up in this fucking movie?
Well, I didn't want to say that as my relationship to the song, but I'm like, oh yeah, that is. Yeah, why did they steal this from Family Guy?
I thought I was having a stroke when that happened. I'm like, okay, is he saying Papa Ooh Mau Mau, or is he speaking something in French? And I'm like, you can't fucking hit me with that. I'm not going to be able to process that at the same time as what if art isn't the thing you're supposed to do in life. Those two things don't go together in my head. All of those funny things then just make it that much more heartbreaking later in the movie when it remembers that it's a French movie, and so you need to feel like shit when you stop watching it. Because Rodolfo meets Mimi, he meets like outside of his apartment. She's waiting for her friend, who turns out is in jail, and they start a relationship. It's going pretty well, but then he gets deported, and she's very sad. She starts dating another guy for the 6 months that he's not in the country. And then he comes back. She breaks up with the guy. She starts dating him. And then he can't make money as an artist, but she stays by him, much like Marcel and Chonard. She is ride or die. And then she gets sick, and you're like, I know where this is going. Damn it.
Yeah, I actually did not look this up, but for what I understand, like this is, I kept thinking, oh, this is the older, or at least the adaptation of the older work that Rent becomes, like the musical, and I was just like, oh, I know where this is going in a certain sense, but I was like, because not like that it like ruined the film for me, but I was like, I did have that sort of thing in my mind of like, this is going to get sad in a way that I'm like, I'm not entirely, I don't know. And also Mimi, Evelyn Didi, that who it's funny that it rhymes,
right?
I really like this actress.
She's so good.
She has just this warmth, and also even just when he comes back, that just like, it is one of those things where I assumed it was going to be like now she has moved on, her life is different, because I don't know, but I loved there is this kind of reproachment that is very sweet, and despite the fact that it's not gonna work out. It's just
you were dead on with Rent too, because like this and Rent were both based off of La Bohème. So good on you for knowing that without looking it up. I'm stupid. I was just like, haha, like Boodoo, he says Balzac.
I think I only know this because of a Lindsay Ellis video, I think.
Okay.
Like, I don't think she mentions this particular film, but I was like, this is so close. And also something, I mean, just Mimi in general. Like, I was like, oh, okay, there's some of these connections.
I can always count on Nick for the smart history things, and then he can always count on me for the dumb intros.
that I take from video essays that I've consumed over the years.
Hey, but that means you remember
watch the
stuff.
Rent video. Very good. Yeah, exactly. It's just all the stuff that
support Lindsay Ellis. Don't be creepy, but support Lindsay Ellis.
Yes, exactly. Don't support us. Just support it.
Well, no. Let's not go that far. You can support both people, especially since we don't have a Patreon or anything yet. But you can just share this with your friends or something. But Jaylen, what were some of your thoughts coming out of this movie? Because you hadn't seen this one before, had you?
No, this was my first time watch. I will say the beginning was it was a little bit of a slog for me, but as it went on, I found it very charming and. Even though it's kind of like a bummer, it's still like I said, like a depressing charmer.
Yeah.
And it's very like soulful.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing these kind of like day-to-day absurdities and getting to see their triumphs, but also their struggles of being these kind of like three outcasts. I just found a lot of elements that were relatable, even if some moments were kind of silly. I thought it was like a great little pocket universe. And I have to appreciate something that though it was, because it was filmed in the 90s, but it felt much older. And I feel like that's so hard to do successfully. And I really appreciated it.
That was insane.
And there were also some great, there were some great, like frames throughout that felt very photographic. And with it being in black and white too, makes you really focus on the composition, and a lot of those were very thought out, and moments looked like a photograph. So there's a lot to love about it, and I appreciated it.
I love that it's so out of time that you never know when the fuck it is, because there's like cabs and there's cameras that people could own in their homes, but they look like they're from the 70s. Everything looks grungy and shit. Like all these houses that they're in just look like they are not a set, even though like it was the 90s. They could be filming this with digital cameras. They could be filming this in color. All of this was a stylistic choice to make it feel very particularly old and grungy, and I really respect that as a vision for the movie.
It also reminded me a little bit of like it's a very different film, but like The Artist, like it captures a sort of tone of that old silent era that film does, and this film does also capture what I don't know, understand of at least the original story that this is based on, like that sense of squalor among artists. To use another Kevin Smith one, Clerks does not feel like that.
Everything gotta come back to Kevin.
I was just thinking about.
Wait, can we talk about Tusk?
Yo, let's talk about Tusk.
The first A24 movie? Yes, we can.
I unironically love Tusk.
Oh boy.
Tusk is ridiculous in all of the best ways.
Yo, can we talk about yoga hosers?
No, that's actually, I'm like, after seeing Doom Generation, I'm like, God, I hate Kevin Smith.
But Epic Mealtime is in yoga hosers.
Yeah,
Bacon.
And he's not good in it. It is Bacon. Don't you remember Bacon?
Don't you remember when the internet was so fucking into bacon? So the internet was so into bacon that my grandmother one year when I turned 14 for Hanukkah got me bacon toothpaste, and I was like, never fucking do that again.
It was like, that's so funny.
It
was like that and like mustaches shit. For some reason.
Oh my god!
2013, 2014.
The mustache craze, yeah.
Do you think people regret those the tattoos of the little mustache on their finger?
No, if people are,
they're kind of circling back into style.
You're right.
Like,
oh really?
I have been seeing it. Yeah, I've been seeing like that era of which makes me feel ancient.
Yeah.
That's actually really true. Yeah.
Like,
the millennial craze.
I'm like, okay, that was like that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, absolutely. We're totally getting out of. Shows how much we enjoyed
the end
this
of this
film
movie,
as opposed to
Mimi comes back to Rodolfo, and she's sick, and she's like, "I wanted to come back to you because I love you so much," and then you get the feeling in your stomach like, "Oh, I know nothing's gone well for these guys, but I don't think the movie's gonna change that yet." And to Rodolfo, we can also keep talking about the thing before. I was more doing a joke and then people stopped.
No. I was like, oh, well, you're controlling our collective ADHD.
No, I swear to God,
no,
I'm trying not to, because Nick and I have done this before.
No.
We will yap about nothing for 5 hours.
And then
if you
and
mention
you're like,
Frick's
"Fuck."
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, well, that's also, I'm very cognizant of the fact that Jacob has been very cool and has been editing this show. So I'm like, I don't
Jaylen,
want
our
to
first recording for this
my
podcast
Freaks
was
and Geeks
4.5 hours long.
half hours. I think we pretty much talked about the movies. We probably went off on tangents. I probably
In the
mentioned-
first one?
I think
Oh,
Yeah, in the
mostly
first
we
one,
did,
yeah.
but
it was
amount
still
of-
long. We
and
still
I
leaned
had
so
people
much
telling
detail.
me that that episode at 2.5 hours was really long for a podcast. I'm like, do you want me to do it uncut? Because what the fuck?
I want the uncircumcised version.
You do not.
Exactly.
But so to make this podcast recording not 4 hours long, Mimi comes back to Rodolfo. She's like, I broke up with my boyfriend. I want to be with you because you're back in the country and I believe in you and your art. And he goes, okay, I also believe in me and my art. But then she gets sick of the flu or the consumption or some miscellaneous
Yeah.
bad fever style disease. And that is the thing that really spurs Rodolfo to like sell all of his paintings instead of being really precious about them. There's one shot of him at like a trade job. Schonard sells his car. Marcel sells, what does he sell? I think he sells his typewriter, right? Oh, he sells his books. Schonard doesn't sell his piano because why would Schonard do shit in this movie? But they really do upend their entire lives for Mimi. Rodolfo is like, the doctor says she won't live past spring, and then spring comes and you're like, maybe there's hope. Maybe she got better. And she tells Rodolfo, like, will you go outside and pick some flowers for me so I can smell them? And you know, he looks back at her with a longing glance and you're like, that she knows that she's about to die and she just doesn't want him to be there for it. And that's what fucking happens. And angry and sad.
I mean, I don't know how you guys felt with this ending. I don't think it was bad because I saw it coming, but I think this is a valuable film. I'd like to rewatch it because there were the performances in it were really great. I thought the script was well acted too, because it's like these are characters we have seen. This is obviously like an archetypal story in some ways. It definitely was one that like I was like, I appreciated it more than I think I enjoyed it. That was probably my takeaway from it. But how did you guys kind of, as you ended the film?
I agree with that. Of just like I'm like, I really appreciate like what this movie does. It is definitely a little dry at times, but and as far as the ending, I was like, kind of like, yeah, of course. Like, why would they have a happy ending? Like, they've been miserable this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be canon for them to just like ride off into the sunset. As much as, you know, you
that
always
would be
want
nice.
people to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt inevitable. Like by the time Mimi comes back and you're just like, some must be up if she's coming back to the guy who doesn't have much going on in his life. And
she's like, I don't have to be rich. I'm not going to be here for very long.
Yeah, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And then she was not there for a good time.
Or a long time, yeah.
Because I said this for Totally Fucked Up. Here, too, it felt very Napoleon Dynamite-y, where it's like this very intensely particular cadence with the lines and with the dialogue.
Oh, okay.
I looked it up, too, because I was thinking...
It took me a second with that connection.
Yeah,
like,
did you miss the llama scene in this movie? But I looked it up, and it's because I think 2 of the 3 main actors did not speak French, and so they were giving their lines phonetically, and so
that's insane because it does not
ridiculous.
seem that way.
Well, and
yeah, but we also don't speak French, so I'm sure. I'd be so interested to know. Yeah,
but
like if French people are like, "What the fuck are they?" The pronunciation is crazy.
I know, like this sounds like fucking the wonderful whites of West Virginia to people who speak French. But like, there's jokes that play off of that like Schonard says he's Irish, but no, he's fucking not. Rodolfo is supposed to be, what is it, Angolan? No, Albanian. That one makes maybe a little bit more sense because he just kind of has a different like look to him than Marcel and Schonard. But it's like that, man, like there is some humor in that these three guys who I think are Finnish are just super not French, but also are speaking French in what seems to my untrained ear a pretty acceptable.
Yeah, it wasn't distinct enough where I was like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, you really had to trust the director at that point. They're like, is this coming across? Like, is this like working at all? Like, that's insane.
And he has other stuff in the Criterion Collection. Like he has, I think two other movies that are like in the collection proper, and then a bunch of stuff that's in their Eclipse series, which is like not lower tier releases, but just no like bonus features, no new restorations, but just like packs of movies. And so he has a lot of other stuff in here that looks like he has a really big like storied career. This is a well-directed movie. It's well acted and well written, but this is like there is emotion coming from these characters who don't fucking move at all. Like they make the same face through the whole movie, but whatever he's able to get out of them from their characters fits in every single scenario. And I want to watch fuck all these names. Le Havre, oof, and The Other Side of Hope are the other two movies he has in there. And it much with Gregg Araki, it's like a new director that has a vibe I've never experienced in the same way, and I want to see more. Any closing thoughts for this one, Jaylen?
I think we said it.
Shit. All right. Then
this is literally me like to mentioning to Jacob in the beginning. I was like, could you lead on this one? I don't have as much to say about this last one. I have less thoughts, but I appreciated it. This will be interesting connecting these films.
Well, hey, that is the next thing that we do. So after we watch and discuss these
wait a
movies,
minute.
Holy shit. We like to
Wait.
We like to try and thematically tie them together as if it was like a film festival or some type of programming where someone handed these movies to us. What would the theme of that experience be? And Jaylen, as a theater programmer, I feel like you might be tuned into this, but I don't know. So I'm excited to hear what you think. If you had to tie these movies together thematically, what do you think you'd say?
Yeah, I feel like all of these kind of string together the experience of being an outcast and trying to find I keep coming back to like the sense of chosen family and community and trying to make sense of the world in a way that feels authentic to you. I
had such a similar theme, so Jacob, you have to go next. But that's great.
Sounds good, but
I will furiously think in my head at the moment.
All right, Nick is furiously thinking. That's
I'm having a brain blast right now.
If you furiously think like that, do you have to lick your hand afterwards? Sorry.
No, I don't.
Jesus Christ. That might have been the worst joke I've said on this podcast so far, and we've had some real stinkers. But I thought the thing that connected these was like a feeling of aimlessness from the main characters that like the world is happening around you instead of you being a part of it. I think in the Araki movies, like they all kind of say something like that. In Totally Fucked Up, what does he say? It's like, I fall in love every 15 minutes, but like they say, love lasts as long as a squirt in the dark. Then someone says love is magical. Then someone says love does not exist. There's all of that. There's all of the, what do you do when someone breaks up with you? What do you do when someone is unfaithful? What do you do when like you can't reach your friends and you need companionship? In Doom Generation, where are they going? What are they doing? Why are they always on the run other than they need something to do? There's a thing where Jordan and Xavier are standing in a record shop and there's like thought bubble decorations on the wall and they say down with dope, up with hope. That's something that you only really hear if you're feeling a little bit aimless. In Nowhere, like Dark, his whole character is what does he do with his life if he wants to be a filmmaker? And then, more directly, what does he do after the guy he falls for explodes into a bug? And like in La Vie de Bohème, it is very much so. All these guys they want to be artists and they want to make these contributions to the world, but the world just kind of isn't responding to them. They respond to each other, but they're still just kind of sad. It's that aimlessness in different stages of your life, and they all deal with them in different ways too. So that was the connecting thread that I saw. So Nick,
I loved both of your guys'. So I my brain blasted, and here's where I ended up. So
Oh, no.
I think what is the I was thinking a lot about kind of the relationships of these films. Like, what are the things that we owe each other? I think is an interesting one for that kind of ties all of these together in a way for me. I think for Totally Fucked Up, I think there is that found family aspect for Andy and Ian. Sort of that unsaidness of their relationship is that there was an assumption by Andy that there was supposed to be this exclusivity, and for Steven and Derek that like Steven is, even when he's talking to, I believe it's Patricia or Michelle about his relationship, about how even when he's cheated, he's sort of like in this messy gray area of that sometimes happens in relationships where it's what do we owe each other. I think it was interesting to see both those characters kind of dynamically see those relationships kind of conclude. But for the Doom generation, I think what's owed to our relationships, I've really loved in that film the way that Jordan just unequivocally is in love with Amy. And even though Amy has this kind of back and forth with Xavier, is that like she's trying to feel her way through that situation, and they're constantly trying to relay to Jordan like, hey, this doesn't mean anything, and Jordan's like, it's okay. Like it's like what he owes to her is just that they like are still with each other and they still love each other, and that also becomes part of adding Xavier to their little relationship in that way. And in terms of Nowhere, I mean, I think this is best explored with Dark and Mel. Is just that like for Dark, he really wants just to be with Mel, but it still kind of gets in this weedy area where he can't feel like himself with her. And Mel kind of just, she's not doing anything necessarily wrong. It just what she owes her partners is just love. It's not about kind of having restrictions on the boundaries between her and other partners. And then finally for La Vie de Bohème, did not say that correctly, but for that one, I think it's their shared like relationships with each other that is so, I mean, like what they owe each other is everything a little bit. No matter kind of whatever is happening, they will stand up for each other. They'll kind of be at each other's sides. Like, I mean, selling all their belongings to kind of make Mimi's treatment happen, or for each other. Like, I love the fucking feast they all have when Rodolfo comes back. I mean, that's one of my favorite scenes in the film. And but that's my connection between those films. We'll see how you can edit that, Jacob. And if I need to come back, I can come back to it. But
no, I think that's good. Because culture does not exist in a vacuum. We don't want our podcast to do that either. So we try every time we watch movies for this show to experience something outside of the Criterion Collection. That could be movies, music, books, games, comics, toys, anything that's out in the world that has an impact on us. And we like to give space for that in each episode to, remind ourselves that Criterion is not the be all end all of cinema. And we also know we have a tendency to yap, so we try and keep that time to a minimum just to respect other people, because as anyone who listens to this uncut stuff, which is just me at this point, will know, we go on for a while. So, Jaylen, I'm going to put 1 minute on a timer. Will you please tell us about your hyperfixation of the week, whatever you have been experiencing outside of Criterion?
So outside of movies, a huge part of my life, and also relative to today's episode, my personal chosen family is the local hardcore scene here in Springfield. It's surprisingly very queer, and where I've kind of came into my own as a queer person and have found like-minded people just in the blip of a red state in the middle of the Bible Belt. We come together and listen to just awesome aggressive music and mosh our hearts out. But also it is like, for me, it's like church in a sense. Like, I'm not a religious person, but like through art and through music, I find like-minded people, and we connect and help each other out. We have each other's backs. We come together in solidarity and express our emotions, and music helps me cope with things, and just being able to have that space and have so many community members that feel the same way and are passionate about just showing up for each other, and we all just like come together, dance, have a good time during a moment and period where we need that most in this country. So
yeah, do you have any specific bands or people you want to shout out? It's okay if not.
Oh goodness, that's a lot of pressure.
All right, then we don't need to do
I can shout out like a couple of Springfield bands.
Yeah,
there's Fleshless Body, Primitive Rage, what else, Precursor, Susio, there's all kinds of other ones that I'm going to think about later and feel really bad about not saying. But yeah, surprisingly very popping and passionate scene in little Springfield, Missouri.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking awesome. That
That
was
is
really
awesome.
cool. I'll have to listen to those bands.
Hell
That
yeah.
kind of stuff. But yes, whenever you're ready to start the clock of my media consumption that is not Criterion.
Nick, you have 1 single minute going now.
So this week, I was really enjoying. I've been reading this book, Ask Iwata, which is some kind of a collection of blog posts and quotations and different interviews about the former CEO of Nintendo, I think Japan, or maybe Nintendo overall. Very cool guy. He was a programmer at HAL Laboratories prior to becoming CEO, and it just has some really cool advice for kind of working collaboratively with people. I've been really interested lately in like how do we, I don't know, do more of that. How do we create creative organizations that are meaningful and collaborative, as I mentioned, but that's been a really cool book. I've been really enjoying that. I just got like a big haul of like some transcendental writers from like the 1840s to 1880s, like Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson. So I've been really enjoying rereading some of those and reading some of those for the first time. But that's probably what I've been into this week, other than Tears of the Kingdom, which I'm slowly working my way through. Yeah.
That's usually how this segment goes, is Nick talks about all the very introspective, cool things that he works on, and then I'm like, I watched a TV show.
But no, hey, you undersell the interesting, cool TV shows that you watch, and we're excited to listen to it, and you have 1 minute on the clock, so go.
You really hype that up for something that's not going to be that fucking... because I've been working a lot, I usually like shows that are just like irreverent humor and like new comedic voices that I can... then just take in everything that they do, because hyperfixation is a thing. And so I know I've talked about Dropout and Taskmaster on the show before, and I recently discovered Guy Montgomery's Guymont Spelling Bee, which is this like weird ass comedy spelling bee TV show where each episode they bring a panel of comedians on and ask them to spell words, but they keep throwing curveballs and like sneaky shit in there. Every definition and sentence and like language of origin is a joke. And in the 3rd season of the Australian version, they brought on Sam Campbell, who was also on Taskmaster and is just a fucking insane person. And he's the assistant, and everything he does is just off the cuff wild. It's a really funny, silly show. That's been the main thing. I've also been playing Xenoblade Chronicles, so there's me.
And you're at time.
See, that's Nick being like, look, I did introspective fucking transcendentalist.
No,
and I'm
stop
like,
this. Wait, I really want to watch that show.
Hey, all art is valid.
Shit, you're right.
Exactly, yeah. Hell yeah.
Go off, royalty.
I loved this episode. This was really fun. Jaylen, thank you so much for coming on and bringing these fantastic films and this great conversation.
Of course.
We got one question
I had
for
so much
you,
fun.
We like to ask all our guests this: if you could add one film to the Criterion Collection, what would it be and why?
Tusk.
Tusk. Tusk is valid.
Freddy got fingered.
Let's go.
Freddy got fingered.
Yes.
Do it. Do it. I dare
Pussies,
you.
do it. Yeah.
Do
Exactly.
it. You won't.
Do it.
Fucking asshole.
It's just a dare.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Nick,
it's just a dare.
Nick dared
Yeah.
Criterion to put Deep Throat in there, so
I didn't know. But that was a bit that Jacob wrote for me, also on one of our first guest episodes. That was very funny. That was like it was with the guy I barely knew. I was just like, oh wow, this is. I hope that he.
I also need one of Joe's apartment.
Joe's apartment.
Oh, Joe's
apartment.
apartment. That sounds honestly really interesing. I'll need to watch.
Joe's apartment does sound. Cool.
It's
What era is it
so
from? Like, is
fun.
it like 80s or?
It's from the
early
90s, but the soundtrack's really fun. Like it has like Madball, which is a awesome hardcore band from New York, and like Green Day, and also with Joe's apartment, it is something like Jacob, you know Knox.
I do know Knox.
We were roommates for a couple years, and every time that we would have like a party or like people over, and we would have something on the background, I'd be like, oh hey guys, I'm gonna put in this sick movie, and I would have it playing in the background, and then I would be like fully enthralled in it, and then I would get up. Even it's a party, so people are obviously like socializing, and, like playing games or whatever, and I'm like, no one is watching Joe's apartment right now. This movie is so
the
good.
movie's on, yeah.
Like and then there would be other times where I would be hanging out with Knox, and they're like, oh, we should watch a movie. And I was like, can we watch Joe's apartment? And they're like, I've already seen it. I'm like, but you've never paid attention to it.
You never sat through it, yes.
That's awesome. I know half of I would love for Criterion to start looking at more lowbrow movies, because I know that they have like stoner comedies and they have things that are, you know, a little bit less hoity-toity. Like they have Chasing Amy and they have things like Dazed and Confused. But I was like, those are still movies, and they have a lot of interesting lore behind them, because a lot of times they are movies where the people who are putting them together have a very clear idea of what they want. Like Freddy Got Fingered specifically has a very clear purpose, and it's just to be its purpose is to be a shit movie. Like it is a prank on you for watching it. And I feel like they could do so much with essays and special features that like really dig into that as a vibe for cinema. So I really like those as answers.
I just want to say, Jaylen, I feel that so hard. We used to have movie nights when I was in I had like a little film friend group, and we would watch movies every week. But I brought in this film I love, Dig, but it's kind of like a meandering documentary where it's like you have to like, once you get into it, it's a really fantastic. But I had that same feeling where everyone's kind of drifting, and I'm like, you're just like you don't want to be that person. Yeah, this is important. You're missing the part where they talk about this thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Movies are difficult to lock into if you're in your house with a bunch of distractions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's why it's important to go to the movie theaters and support your local theaters.
Support independent theaters.
Absolutely.
Support people who are trying to bring cinema out there, and respect it to not make it a commercial piece of bullshit.
It is, because you just can't, like, I feel like going to the movies is similar to like going to concerts. It's like this is like the best way you're supposed to experience this art form, and it's like in a way
absolutely
where you're also like connecting like as an audience, like having this shared experience and connecting with this art form that's live and in the moment at the same time and very present. Fuck you, big streaming.
Fuck you, big movies.
Fuck you, big movies. No, I'm in agreement.
I fucking got him. You piece of shit fly. Sorry, I agree.
That was impressive. At first I was like, I couldn't tell if Jaylen had like brought down the hammer or something.
I'm so sorry. That whole fucking time, you piece of shit. As someone who works in a movie theater, it's also really great when like you know something is coming, and you're just kind of waiting for that moment so you can kind of see a crowd react to it. Like I'm sure you've seen Obsession, Jaylen.
Oh yeah.
So the car scene at the end, which for anyone who hasn't seen it, I won't spoil, but that is my favorite scene to like kind of be right outside the theater, like right about to check in with the how it's going, because everyone always jumps, and it's always so scary and so visceral. It's really funny to watch when I know exactly when it's going to happen.
That's so cool.
I had a similar experience with at the Moxie. We did a screening of Misery. And
oh my god!
When it was like you know the scene. We all know the scene.
We all know the scene.
I like went up to the projection booth and was like looking down at the crowd. I was like, I have to see, and just like everyone like wincing back. It's like even if you know it's coming, you can't help but not like, shudder. When Kathy Bates swings that hammer.
But I remember my first experience, and I don't know how much detail we all need to get to at this, but I remember watching Beau's Afraid there.
No.
I had a friend who had brought some pretty powerful edibles, and I did not realize they were this way. And it was genuinely one of the most. I mean, like we're saying, film is a great. I mean, the theater is a great place to see film and to have this experience. It was hell. That was a hellish movie to watch. It was the kind of like it was like the kind of fever dream where you're just fully locked in though too, because the movie is so strange and it goes in so many directions, as we were saying about Ari Aster movies. But that was such a indelible experience for me at the Moxie. I was just like, God, this shrine to movies has become a I don't know, a ring of hell, I think, for me watching
the most anxiety-ridden movie.
Literally,
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely,
while already
yes.
having to face your demons.
Yes,
good for you, Nick, for coming out of that.
Come out of the.
Oh my god!
Yes, exactly. Oh my god! Yeah.
It has been 47 seconds since I blinked. Speaking of hell and the uncertainty of cinema, now is time when we get to spin up our randomizer and see what fresh hell it will give us.
My laugh is too big for that.
It might be something. It might be something great. It might be sallow. It might be might be something fucked up. But we'll see. So I'm gonna spin up the randomizer and we will see what we're watching. Let's go. Gummo. Unfortunately, this time was not Gummo. But we do have oh fuck, I don't know how to pronounce this. Faya Dai from 2021. We have The Killing from 1956. So we got a Kubrick, baby.
Oh,
we got
Kubrick. One of my favorite
Ooh.
Kubricks.
And
It
we got-
doesn't feel like a Kubrick movie. Yeah.
No,
awesome.
but we
Oh,
also got Juliet of the Spirits from 1965. So we're going to have what looks to be an eclectic group of movies for next time. So that should be fun. And it's nice we have a Kubrick because, Nick, I don't know if you saw, and this will date this recording immediately, but Criterion just announced their big box set for the year, and it is a complete
Kubrick?
Stanley Kubrick filmography, all remastered
Holy
in 4K. With a
Oh.
fuck
For like
ton
$1
of special
billion.
features for $600. Yeah, it's pricey, but hey, they'll do their 50% off sale. Then it'll be $300.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So
Yeah. That's-
empty out your wallet, spend a paycheck on Criterion, or hey, Criterion, if you ever want to sponsor this show and send us a Kubrick box set, that'd be pretty fucking sick.
Put us in the closet. I dare you.
Put us in the
closet.
We just watched 3 movies about not being there.
But the thing is,
You're
you
right.
come out
Happy
of the closet
Pride,
after
everyone.
the experience. Yeah,
Happy
exactly,
Pride, everyone.
yes.
Go into the closet, but only if it's full of movies.
You were born this way. You're on the right track, baby.
Jaylen, thank you so much for coming
Yeah, thank you
on.
so much.
It has been so much fun. You gave us some incredible movies to watch. If you want people to find you on the internet, where could they go?
Yeah, so I'm on the Instagrams at Jaylen Early, Jaylen, early, like early in the morning. I also run the Mondo nights at the Moxie Cinema in Springfield, Missouri, and if you want to follow in and see what we're programming for that, the Instagram is Mondo_Moxie.
Shout out Moxie.
Woo!
Pittsburgh.
Shout out Mondo. You said early like the morning, like the absence of light.
That was a good
As
callback.
in-
Hey, thanks, man. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Well, what a strong note
It's the
to
worm.
end our afternoon of wasting Jaylen's time. But
No, I've had so much fun. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you
and,
so much for agreeing to this.
Watching these freaked out movies.
we would love to have you on again. We'll let you have a few weeks without us before we come crawling back.
Okay.
But like I said,
Hell
thank
yeah.
you so much. I didn't write an outro for this episode. Fuck.
We are Criterion
We are
Castaways.
Criterion
where we-
Castaways. Listen to us on every major platform. Someone sponsor us so that the show generates 1 cent of revenue this year. That's our goal. 1 cent of revenue.
Spam me some breadcrumbs.
If you enjoy this podcast, please
tuppence.
share it with a friend. It means so much to us because, that friend could be that next fan
There you
or
go.
someone who hates us also. So maybe consider
Engagement
the
is what the
person to as well.
algorithms
Yeah.
want. But
Yes.
that's all we have for you today. I have been one of your hosts, Jacob Katz.
And I've been your other host, Nick Fury.
We're reminding you that film may be a medium, but it's not the size, it's how you use it. Or we can end it in a not stupid way. Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Have a week.